He didn't know how long my intro was, so he went to get water. Anyways, hello everybody. Hi. I want to say hi to chat. Hello, Alex. Hi, Holy Hand Grenades Ballroom's intro. Hello. What's up?
What's
Sorry.
up?
Should be like, ooh, I'll bring my guest in later. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? This is not a professional operation. Hello, Joe.
Hey,
Hi.
Rainey.
Oh my
Long time.
gosh.
What's up?
Hi. Yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back. It's been a really long time. You've been on this promo show before, but it's been forever. I think it's been like
Yeah,
more than a year.
maybe. Yeah, maybe definitely more. I think, but I have no track of time these days. Just
It was a while.
yeah,
You were
for
on for
sure.
Star Circuit 1, but yeah, I
hmm
have no my sense of time is all completely fucked too, especially after COVID. But
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, just like, dude, like working. I don't know how normal people work on comics and have like a sense of time, but for me, it's
it's
just like not possible.
yeah, especially working on comics. It's just I just draw until I drop and then crawl off, get up from the ground where I fell. I continue
Yeah,
trying.
rinse and repeat. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Creators Outlet, hello, what's up? What? Vaughn is at Smitty's streaming over
What?
us. That's fine. It's okay. I love
I'm sure he's got some
Buzz.
good stories over there.
Yeah, everybody else that go support Phenomenova.
Oh yeah, looks
Definitely
great.
like that as well. Hello, Michael Rushbrook. Hail, what's up? I had a great free comic book day. I want to shout out Michael Rushbrook for
hmm
making the event happen. So I drove out to Augusta to do free comic book day, and it was like a mini convention, like a proper mini convention too. It was like a comic. The shop is called Augusta Book Exchange, ABX. And
hmm
so they had like their comic stuff shelves all around this room, but in the middle they have like a gaming section, right? And they cleared out the gaming section and just had a mini artist alley right in
That's
the
legit.
shop. It was so great and and so many people. I mean, Michael went all out with the advertising and think and all that stuff. So I think that really helped. Like he knows the shop really well, and that's what I'm bad at. I'm really bad at connecting with my LCS and all this stuff because I'm not from Atlanta. So to me, I'm just like my life is on the internet, but that just reminded me I gotta go to my local shops more. There's a really good shop in Atlanta called Oxford that we'd always go to when we were in art
Cool.
school. And there's another store that opened that's a comic shop, like comic and gaming shop, that's also a bar called My
hmm
Parents' Basement in Atlanta.
That's a
And
good combo. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's not near me, which is why I'm not there all the time.
hmm
But I'm like, I should get out and I need to start
We
like
have a we have a similar one in Orlando that they kind of like bought the shop over. Well, they bought whatever was next door to it for a while and opened up a bar called a comic shop in Orlando. That's where I'm at. But yeah,
cool.
that's awesome, man. Because like I don't know the scene in Atlanta. I imagine it's kind of big because it's a big city. Is there a lot of LCSs over there?
There are a handful. There's, let's see. So before I crowdfunded Fiendish, or when I was preparing to crowdfund, well, before I started doing YouTube more, like I launched the campaign, or I was preparing to launch. Anyways, I went around, found every comic shop, and just dropped off flyers. It didn't really help. Like there were a lot of comic shops that were nice, and a couple of them let me leave they all let me leave their flyers. A couple of them even bought the preview book for Fiendish because I had like a preview, some preview pages already printed
Yeah.
in a booklet. They're all really nice, and um, but yeah,
Well,
it's
that's not
it's
always that's not always the case. I've had opposite reactions sometimes. Some people
really
are adverse to at least the crowdfunder kind of thing. If you mention you're crowdfunding,
uh,
some shops don't really like that. I don't know. They're like
really
old. They're set in the old ways or something. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt. What were you say?
no, it's fine. Yeah, the shops around here they were all pretty open to. Some of them I think they were mostly I think they knew about crowdfunding or it was more of a they like supporting local artists sort of thing. And
Right.
I am a local artist, so they were like a couple of them were like, "Oh, we don't really know what this is, but sure, leave your flyer." And then a couple of them were really excited. So, but I think it's just cuz I'm not constantly there. It didn't really help cuz with advertising you have to be constantly just keep on reminding people. And I don't leave my house, which is the problem, but I should leave my house
Uh,
more.
Yeah, I'm a twin. I'm twinning with you with that, man. I do not. I am so bad at it. Like I kind of like. I think I get burnt out on it if I go hard on marketing for a while. But I'm setting up automations this time, and I'm trying to help myself in the future. I think automated like type of marketing stuff is the best way because then you don't like forget. I guess.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I saw Billy Power Max. I can't find your chat, but oh hey, Devil Flyer, thank you. Yes, hit the like button,
Yeah,
everybody.
smash
Hit
it.
like. We're gonna talk about Star Circuit 2. Joe's book. I'll pull it up in an instant, right after I'm done yapping about comic book stores. And Chris
Yes.
Fisk, what's up? Chris Fisk of Infinitale Chronicles.
Hail,
Thank you
dude.
for joining. Yeah, Billy Powermax was at the Free Comic Book Day event in Augusta. I met him. Oh, there he is. Hello. I met him. Yeah, we
What's up,
got a
Billy?
picture. It was fun. Yeah, it was really cool. So I was like, it's always funny where I don't know what people look like in chat, but they
hmm
know what I look like. And I'm like, so you gotta tell me your chat name that I'll recognize because I know I recognize all the regulars. So
Yeah, you got to get them to wear like
it's still
a
gonna be
avatar sticker or something. Wear your sticker avatar.
my name is.
Yeah.
That'll
hmm
be funny. But yeah, man. Send some love to your local comic shop, and I hope everybody had a good Free Comic Book Day that overlapped with May the 4th, which I thought was like, whew, it was like,
Yeah, it also is the same day as two other things that like I try to um, be a part of in some way. It's the Kentucky Derby, which I'm kind of from Kentucky in a weird way, um, and I'm Italian, so I'm always betting on shit. So,
oh no.
but yeah, I didn't gamble this year. But the it's weird. Derby Day is the same day as frickin' Free Comic Book Day. It's weird.
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. It was like Free Comic Book Star Wars Day. It was all kinds of stuff. It was
Yeah.
it was really great. Yeah. Well, um
Hmm.
now that I've got everybody. Creators Outlet is there. Gooch is also here. Hello, Ryan Blue Thunder, Snuggy, Gikazu. Everybody's here. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. I
Awesome.
will pull up the campaign that we'll be talking about. Star Circuit Chapter 2. Let's just get into it before I get carried away.
hmm
While I'm doing that, for people who haven't seen your last appearance, why don't you let everybody know? Good Joe, Mr. Good Joe,
hmm
you are, and how did you get into this making comics business? How did you get here?
So I'm Good Joe. It's Joe Catapano. I am a kind of a late into getting. I was pretty much getting into comics in college instead of like in my childhood. So I started drawing almost immediately after I figured out comics were awesome. And yeah, it's kind of been this upward battle that to get good enough to draw a book is insane. So once I'd say it was 2011 where I figured out that I wanted to draw comics. I was 20 or something. It was after college, and or right after college, and I figured out that this is a hard thing to do. So I would tell everybody this is what I'm going to do, but it took me till 2016 to actually be good enough to write something and draw it. Up to that point, I was making samples to try to get into like small press and the big two. Yo, Billy Basco.
What's up, Billy? Hello.
Mm.
So
So
you
yeah,
said, yeah, continue. Sorry.
no, I mean I was pretty much doing sample pages and then getting such good critiques well, not from the start. When you first start drawing, you like get really harsh critiques. But eventually people would say, oh, you're really good and you probably should, well, some really wise people said you probably should make your own book. But other people would say, I'd get so many, pro critiques that said, man, you're really good. And that like I think I probably would already had a job, whenever, I was just looking for a job back in the day. And just because I hadn't landed a job yet, it was making me feel weird. And so I was like, man, screw this. Screw making all these other characters for other people. I'm going to just try my best. at writing something, and it took me like 2 years to write something. But yeah, just waking up really early before work and just slamming my head against the keyboard, and then eventually coming up with Star Circuit from a lot of my influences.
All right. So it sounds like you've walked a similar path to everyone. You say you're a bit of a late bloomer, but this is really good work. I love the energy
Oh, thank you.
to this. This is great.
Yeah, I mean,
And yeah.
it's sci-fi, so it's fun, and I think personally, if you want to have an extra challenge, try drawing sci-fi. I think there's like a little bit of an extra design challenge. I worked as a game concept artist for a little while, so I've got a little background in that kind of thing. So I spent like, as I was trying to write the book, I designed a bunch of stuff at the same time. So
Right.
yeah, that's kind of how it was a little bit easier for me than maybe some other person. But yeah, it really is a challenge though. I did really want to quit multiple times during making the book because it's just so hard to constantly design a world that's, there's not really reference for, you know what I mean? So you're trying to figure a lot of things out.
Yeah. Sci-fi is definitely hard in that sense. I mean, I think that even if you're doing fantasy, you should be inventive. I don't.
Hmm.
Standard fantasy is fine. You can have standard sci-fi too, where a lot of science fiction feels like a certain aesthetic sense that's been done before. That's very common, and sometimes people can get away with that. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but I really extra appreciate it when fantasy or science fiction adds its own twist and people really pay attention, or the creator and artist really pay attention to the visual style. I think that's when something really stands out and has longevity.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's like an it factor to whatever designs you're putting out there for almost anything. Like you're saying, like fantasy, almost there's a lot of genres like that really you kind of need to design things to make it seem like it's unique. With the exception of like modern day like crime dramas and stuff like that, you pretty much need to design a whole bunch of things. And yeah, for what I did with Star Circuit is like design the bikes and then slowly branch all the stuff out from there. I mean, I took the traditional approach of, like designing as if it was a game or an IP like that. And yeah, it was just fun to do. So at some point, the story came together, and then once you start drawing pages, there's no going back. And for me, a lot of people that like have read Star Circuit 1, I think a lot of people, I feel like the number one praise is that like the world building's good, and that like you get the sense that I'm not bearing down on you with all this extra information, just letting it come at you as naturally as possible.
Yeah, that's a good sense. I don't remember if I think I have the book, but I haven't read it. I'm sorry, I don't have
Hey,
anything.
there's a
This
million
looks
books.
really good. Just, I'll back all of them. I'll reback everything this time. The background here looks so cool. I'm staring at the background. That reminds me of, it's like those upside down cities in Blame, but there is
Hmm.
neon. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. To me. There's like Rob did this. This is Rob Willis, and yeah, I feel like he's got a little bit of Mobius in there. If you look at the line work, it's very like kind of Mobius hatched a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the line work is Mobius, but the design itself is Nihei. If you know,
Mm.
there's a sci-fi mangaka called Tsutomu Nihei. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows these artists, but Rob is really
I'm not I'm not familiar like with a lot of names, but I do recognize like kind of what you're talking about. You're talking about what was the anime you mentioned?
Blame.
Blame. Yeah, I've definitely watched them. So I don't know if what you're saying like the structures are like shaped the right way and proportioned the same way.
Yeah, the kind of upside down city looking thingamajig. I don't know if that's
Mm,
what it is. It looks kind of like it. Blame had a lot of upside down cities and shit.
cool. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of old school anime influence. Most of everything besides comics would be anime influenced here. So dude, I'm big fans of obviously Bebop, Akira, um,
Yes.
Cyber
Yes.
City.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that stuff. I want to lean more into that as well. I think yeah, I've been getting more and more nostalgic for 90s and 80s anime and I'm like, oh, I'm getting older, but it's fine. That was a good era for media. It's just
yeah,
the 90s was just objectively good media. That was just like a perfect balance when there was stuff looked really good, there was a lot of innovation, there wasn't like I feel like we're definitely in an era of stagnation right now. Not anime so much, but I do love the 90s
mm.
anime
What
feel.
What do you watch anime currently? Are you watching anything? Or are you reading anything?
Oh, no. I don't have time for anything. I've been listening to some audiobooks of old classics that I haven't, ever caught up on.
Like
And
literature
but
or what?
yeah, like real books, but I don't read them. I just audiobooks because I don't have
Novels.
time. I don't have time for anything. Yeah. I'm like I got like a playlist of I'm gonna listen to all the Robert E. Howard stuff, and then I got a fucking Solzhenitsyn. I can't say his name correctly, but and a
Solzhenitsyn?
bunch of
Yeah,
all
yeah.
yeah yeah
Which
yeah
which books from him?
Archipelago.
Okay.
So, and I mean, all his books are good. So I want to go through all those classics that I haven't read yet, and
Yeah.
I haven't. So like people can, like real writers. I won't have to be embarrassed in front of real writers, and I'm
Yeah.
just preparing to be depressed when I get to like Archipelago. But yeah, not with anime. I don't have time to watch shit, dude.
Yeah, that's
I
I
read a
recognize
comic
it.
once in a while. That's it.
I feel like what I do is like I put it on the background as I'm doing stuff and I have to rewatch it like 5 times to like kind of understand. A lot of times that'll happen. And there's a couple that I actually will revisit, but yeah, I get your like I do listen to a lot of audiobooks too. I'm like, um, what am I listening to now? I listen to a lot of like self-help stuff too, nonfiction and just like random other sci-fi books. Like Neuromancer is one of my big influences for this book as well. He pretty much Gibson like pretty much invented cyberpunk in one book, and it's the best read that you can like the type of prose he has in the book is just like dry and brutal and like there's nothing like it. Neuromancer is like one of my favorite books ever.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's interesting. I want to read more sci-fi as well. So when I had time to read books, way back
Hmm.
in the days yonder, I read mostly fantasy or mystery. I read a lot of John Grisham and of course George R. R. Martin. And George R. R. Martin has some sci-fi in his repertoire as well, but of course Tolkien and a bunch of other stuff. And but the sci-fi that I have read, I really liked. A fun fact:
Hmm.
Ghost of the Shell, the anime, the early 2000s anime. That's what made me decide to go to art school. Like I love that anime, so I have a real
That's
soft
cool.
spot for sci-fi. I love Akira as well, but I haven't read a lot of sci-fi, and I want
Mm.
to read more because I think there's, I mean, in my mind, Dune isn't sci-fi; it's fantasy. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just at this Dune is weird. It feels
Yeah.
like both, but
Hmm. Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
is.
I
It
just
really does. It's like colonialist, like fantasy, sci-fi,
yeah.
weird. Yeah. That's almost the way I view Gibson's Neuromancer. It's like almost not. It's cyberpunk, but before cyberpunk was cyberpunk. It was sci-fi. So it's almost like this really like tech. It's like tech based sci-fi. And I don't know. Totally recommend that. But I've read like a ton of other sci-fi stuff that I really enjoy. Dude, sometimes I just go on YouTube and not really listen to like what they're saying, but just go look at like the top sci-fi lists that people have and go just steal what the best are. And yeah,
Ah.
yeah,
So,
it's a little
what's
trick of mine.
funny? Uh, Good tip on what's funny is on YouTube. I
Mm.
follow a bunch. I don't know why this is interesting, but I follow a bunch of really like science nerdy channels. Like there's this guy with a list. What's his name? Uh, that's not this guy. There's a Isaac something, and then there's another guy, John Michael Godier. He doesn't have
Mm.
a lisp, but there's another guy with a lisp. But they make like these brilliant theoretical. futurist videos about, well, what will humanity look like if we reach like a Kardashev like type 2 civilization? What are the what are the solutions to the Fermi paradox? Like, where are the aliens? Or like, how would you harvest the energy of a sun? And all these like crazy shit. I just fucking love that. It's like, what is a civil? One of my favorite fucking videos, is, I think, was it Godier or somebody else
Hmm.
who, or that other guy that I'm blanking on the name of. Isaac Arthur. That's right. Not
There you go.
Asimov. No, Isaac Arthur. That's right. Civilization is at the end of time. Look up that video. I'm like, that
Okay.
straight up made me want to make some kind of like far futuristic alien civilization that was literally at the death of the universe, which apparently might be possible. But that would be the kind of science fiction that's just so fucking out there. How do you even put that concept and in a way that would relate to humans and create a story in a way that's relatable? But I just find the concept super fascinating. I love science fiction concepts,
Hmm.
but what I find challenging is, how do you tie the cool technology and the theorizing about the future, which is what science fiction is, to the current day, to the
Hmm.
human state, right? Is that something
Yeah.
that you had to overcome?
Yeah, well, that was the main reason why it took me a year and a half or more to write the story. I rewrote it a million times with different themes. So I wrote stories by theme instead of like, you can probably write it from plot, write from character, but I write it from theme, like specifically what am I trying to figure out here? And a lot, my themes are essentially how to build connections in a disconnected world and how to build purpose in a purposeless world. And that's kind of like what Star Circuit's all about. It's stuff that I work through now and we're starting to see it in modern day, just like people already being disconnected just from having a few extra screens in their life. And yeah, that's something that I directly went with from the start to figure out some of those themes within Star Circuit. But it's based around racing because it's like a direct, like it's like almost like a too direct of analogy of the theme. So like man versus machine, the race of Star Circuit is man versus machine, and it's something that like the main street racer, he has this delusion that he can take on androids that are way beyond human capabilities, and through that he has to start building connection and has to start building a purpose to overcome that. And so yeah, I think it just I think what you're talking about is like how do these high crazy concepts of sci-fi really, how do you integrate that? Um,
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not great at it because like I'm not like a master of sci-fi doing it for 40 years or
Just say
something.
you're good at it. Just say it.
Well, look, I really think that what I'm trying to do with it is a little bit different. There's some things that in an odd. Okay, so there's this way of looking at the world called the headless way. I don't know if you ever done meditation or heard of the headless way before, but this guy, he wrote this book back in the 40s called The Hierarchy of Heaven and Earth. And it's really not about mystical higher like heaven and earth stuff. It's mostly about the like how to view the world from first person and at third person at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these concepts I'm putting into Star Circuit, you won't get until way later down the road, and you'll start seeing the signs that I'm throwing these things in here. But yeah, so like these concepts from like almost like this weird spiritual realm of books and like nonfiction and philosophy. That's where I'm kind of throwing extra stuff into sci-fi. So I think stuff that hasn't been put into sci-fi yet, but that's just me. That's where I can contribute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. No, that sounds really interesting. I think that science, any science fiction or fantasy that's good would touch on something that's some kind of philosophical core, right? And you almost can't force it. It has to just be something that the writer is very interested in, and it almost organically happens as you create the story. And I haven't heard of those concepts before, and I don't know if it's been done in science fiction, but that actually does sound really interesting. That
Mm-hmm.
there is a, it's almost like there's an external conflict, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the
Mhm.
story on the surface is about racing and it's about something else, but the internal conflict is you're drawing from those books that you mentioned and those concepts, right?
Yes, yeah. So a lot of what sci-fi and cyberpunk deal with is like man connecting with other people and man connecting with machines, and what are those connections? And so inherently, when you make a connection, there is always a subject and an object. So like you viewing something from a third person perspective is different than you actually being connected. So that gets a little heady a little too quickly, but when you deal with cyberspace, I think I'm demonstrating it visually, so you're going to be able to understand it a little bit easier, and that'll come down the road. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm wanting to go. I want to show these connections actually being formed, and being able to show them physically, but through this crazy race where he's racing androids. And it's been like 80 years since a human has even survived a race against androids. So the street racer will be like the first in generations. Most people think it's pretty much like it's like the suicidal type of notion that one, you would even have a purpose beyond getting high, and two, like try this feat of racing against like tech and androids.
Interesting. So, in what would you like? I kind of just jumped into it, and like, if you got, I should ask you to do your pitch for this world and
Mhm.
who's the main character and what this is actually all about. What's the setup for the racing and all that other stuff.
Sure. So we're in the future. Welcome to the future. Uh, in this future, androids are mass produced and have now become the savior of civilization. It's enabled everyone not to work, and because of that, a lot of societies complacent. We are constantly entertaining ourselves, and we're all connected through this device called the Arc, which is like essentially Neuralink that Elon's making, and we're able to see things AR wise. What's up, Edwin? And also, we're able to connect to each other and speak to each other, and pretty much have telepathic powers between each other. The main character we follow is a street racer, but he's kind of like this. He's Normally you would follow a street racer that's kind of born in the slums, raised in the slums, has the street smarts. We're following a kind of a rich kid, spoiled brat type of a guy that is run away from all his problems, and he races the slums for fun, where he's kind of in danger down there because he's like famous in this future city, and he just takes that on the face and kind of like has to avoid being known. But either way, this street racer Atlas, he has this delusion, and he has this like goal that like maybe it's possible. Like he remembers watching and seeing all the old tapes of humans racing before, and he thinks it's possible just because he's just a dreamer, and really it's not possible. But he has this dream too. And the catalyst to this whole story is he kind of glitches out this system, this arc system, and because of this glitch, something weird happens. And from there, like in the second book here, which we're funding now, the villain can kind of track him now. Like because of this glitch, he's being able to be tracked, and these android assassins are after him. So yeah, it's a story where it's mostly about racing, but there's a lot. It's also about family. It's about the connections that he's been pushing away for so long. That how do you even come back from that? Like when you have no one else, like life becomes even more purposeless than it normally is in the future.
I do like that. I think, well, there's your human connection, right? Because everybody can relate to that theme of family on a certain level.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Yeah, yeah. This art again looks really good. What do you do on the book?
What did I what?
Do you do everything?
So the first chapter, I did everything. I've learned a lot since then. I kind of burnt myself out after releasing the first book. I think because I tried to do absolute everything. And yeah, so I'd say chapter 2 is all my art, my story, and I hired a colorist and I hired new editors, and I won't be fulfilling. I'm going to use RJ with Critical Blast,
Yeah,
um,
awesome.
so that's going to be
Yeah,
fun.
RJ's great.
Yeah, so at least I pulled off a few of the hats, and now I can just focus on the story, and which the story's pretty big. It's 72 pages of story this time, and so it's up there, and so it'll be probably an 80 plus page book when you guys get it. And yeah, so story and art, I did it. Yeah, except for colors this time.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a it. It is a little, very much, not a little overwhelming to wear that many hats, and there's I think comics are wonderful in the sense that it's the one visual medium that a very small team of just one person, even one person, if you had to, one person can put out a comic, and it's the one visual medium where that's possible. But it's a lot of work. Comics are a lot of work. It's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
I
It's
wouldn't even
a lot of
recommend it.
work.
I really.
Even, I mean, I've done it before. It's a lot of work. You almost need like that explosive energy of youth. I've done that kind of stuff when I was like in college and my early 20s, and back before having slaving at in the workforce kind of like beat me down and robbed my energy and my soul. But um
Yeah.
but it's so much, especially if you have to do colors. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I hate having to do like I can color, but I don't like coloring my own interiors because I'm like, I've looked at these pages already for like 10 hours. Get this
Hmm.
out of my fucking face. Um,
I hear you.
so,
Yeah.
ooh, it's just, yeah, it is a slog because every page is not one drawing, it's 5 or 6 drawings. And before, I mean, I talk about this all the time on my channel. I assume you guys watch the Creative Block and my show with Allie. Comics are, it's not just, if you want your comic to really read well, it's the most exhausting part is blocking out the scene, the thumbnail stage, laying everything out, making sure the action works, all this visual storytelling stuff, and that's time consuming. It
Already, yeah. Already
Yeah, and
really,
that's
really
if you
tedious.
want it to be good. If you want it to be good, like anybody can't produce a comic, but if you want it to be good, it takes time. And ooh, yeah, I know what you mean by wearing all the hats, and I'm so glad that I'm the same way. The more Fiendish has progressed, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna delegate,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna do fulfillment. No, thank you.
I realize, man, it's hard enough already. And if you hear it all the time. I see it on Twitter, just like people like, nah, man, I'm not going to do a comic. I want to like have a life, you know? And I saw, what's his name? Oh man, Tony Infante said it the other week. He was like, man, I'm not going to do a comic in my 30s. What am I, crazy? Like, that's waste my 30s on a comic. I'll do it like when I'm 50.
Oh,
And I was like, man, that makes me kind of depressed.
that makes me depressed too.
I'm like, damn
Tony
it,
said that.
yeah, he said that. Tony's great, but
Yeah.
I really relate to that. I'm like,
Oh.
okay, maybe I should rethink this. And that's when I was like, delegate more out and try to make more lifey, and make
Mhm.
more comics like focused. So I really, that's why I got into the biz in the first place, to do penciling.
Yeah.
That's why all of my art, I literally switched to digital and still am trying to mimic pencil work. So I spent like 3 months trying to find the right brushes, the right techniques, the right process to mimic pencils. And so, if you ever see the line art by itself, it does look like a really, really clean version of pencils. And that's just what I enjoy. That's why I started in the first place, because I was like really enamored by, the pencilers, all the great pencilers that, everybody respects and loves. Capullo and Jim Lee, and like all the ones that are a little bit rough, a little bit like shady. Sometimes they don't even like finish all the shading and the blacks and stuff. Like just this nice. Some of them are so good at getting that nice sketch look, but at the same time really refined,
Mhm.
storytelling. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going for.
I see. I see. Yeah. My brain is still on what Tony said. I'm like, oh no, he's
Oh
still
no,
alive. It's
dude.
fine. I don't know, Neil. There's
I,
something
I
something to be said about that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, No, I mean
You're not gonna have the
I
like
relate.
comics. I do, yeah, but it's I don't know. For me, I'm paranoid that I won't. Let I
What's your
want to feel
biggest
like I'm a.
fear?
What's my deepest, biggest fear? No,
Yes.
I'm worried about the fire going away, honestly, and I
Mm,
think comics need fire, and that's why I'm gonna do it while I have that urge. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I like that approach. I think that's like somebody. I mean, I'm like a self help guy, so I'm always watching like how do you do things better and more efficient, and just like mentality wise and state wise. And a lot of people do think the fastest way to work is like to just flow with your passions and interests at the moment to moment. Like if you're not feeling this panel, why work on the whole page? Just work on that one panel and then come back to the rest. Or you know what I mean? Some people think that's the way to go because you'll get more work done and you'll get better work done.
Mhm.
But
What's your approach with that?
dude, I've been modifying it. I'm actually gonna on my YouTube channel, which is growing recently, which is awesome. I'm going to be putting out like a whole workflow that I'm kind of been working through. I'm calling it the attentive workflow, which is it's almost like short for the slow workflow. It's like instead of like trying to work fast, work slow and work extra slow to the point where you're almost like solving other things at the same time. So like, let's just say you're working on a page and you have to design this one background element, but it'll be used like later down the road. Spend some time now, design the damn thing. That way it's ready to go later on, and kind of be slow and meticulous about each page as they come. That's kind of how I'm working things. Trying to think like what I used to do was a little bit more like just straight up linear. Like I used to be like top
Mhm.
left to bottom right
Oh God,
and
yeah.
super linear.
Yeah, that's how I did comics until Fiendish 2 as well. And with Fiendish 2 I just skipped all over the damn place. And I
Mm,
realized it doesn't really matter. And it's probably better because uh so this is I don't know if everyone's the same way, but my art changes even over a few months. Like nobody else would notice, but I notice, and I'm like, okay, if I spread out the pages and don't draw them all linearly, that's less noticeable.
mm.
So I mean, there's pros and cons to working that way, but yeah, I think it's with what you mentioned of that. Should you work on what you want to work on? Well, sometimes there's things that you gotta do no matter how much you love your damn comic, there's things that you got to do that you just don't want to do. So
Mm.
there comes to a point where you need to balance like I want to do this, and also it's a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it, but it has to be done. So
It is true. There's a little bit of that. But I usually find that at some point I'll have that mood. Hey Sherry.
that's true.
um,
That's true.
Sometime,
Eventually,
but
you'll. Yeah.
you are right. You have to like do the. Some people say it's like the Muhammad Ali quote where he like, when do you start counting reps? And it's usually when it hurts, or when that's what he said. Like when it actually starts hurting, that's when you count. So like a lot of people would say that when you're doing the tedious work you don't want to do, that's when you're really putting in the hard work, because you're like, I'm purposely doing the stuff I don't want to do to make this thing awesome. And sometimes that's like really drawing in a crowd scene, like screw, like really fuck crowd scenes, dude. I hate them so bad because I'm
it's
such a
it's
weird perfectionist. I'll like even spend time on the really stick figure stuff in the back, and I shouldn't. And I'm like, oh, that guy should have glasses. And you're like, you can barely see what I'm drawing.
I know that feeling. Though I think what helps me is finding enjoyment in those things. And what so I learned this lesson with chapter 2 of Fiendish. I mentioned this before. Some pages with both, not just with Fiendish, but with all the comics I've done, there have been pages that I really wanted to draw, and other pages where I'm like, this is purely functional. I just want to get through it. And my
Hmm.
goal going forward is how about at the layout stage, lay everything out in a way where I will not feel like this at all when I'm drawing it. Like try to make everything as interesting as possible. So that's I'm taking forever with Fiendish 3 layouts. Um but there's a reason. Like I want to see how good this can get.
Hmm.
And making
Dude, you're
entertaining, make sure you're entertained every
mhm.
step of the way. I think it'll show for to the reader when they read it.
Yeah. So when you say layouts, are you talking about your awesome book that you've shown off before? Is that thumbnails or is that the stage right before it, your full book of awesomeness?
Oh, that's chicken scratch. I call that my tome, the
Your
roughs.
tome, yeah,
Yeah,
your tome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's called chicken scratch. Those are thumbnails, but then I do
Okay.
another more refined. I do 3 steps of thumbnails, and then I revise the thumbnails because I get notes from my team and my editor, and then after 7 drafts of thumbnails, then I pencil. So
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
complicated.
I do those from both just seeing random people's advice and see, dude, creative block is great for, I'm sure you're like really inspiring a lot of people doing that show. Like everybody gets to see like, I mean, just seeing
Oh,
Kelsey's like layouts that one time was amazing.
yeah.
And
Oh, Kelsey's so good.
yeah, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. I mean, what I do is like, I'm a big fan, like one of my mentors is Freddie Williams, who wrote the DC book of how to do it digitally. And then later became one of my off and on like mentors. But he is just his process is a little bit different, and I've been following his process for a long time now. I usually do sketches on the script. If I have it like on the computer, I'll just put it on Photoshop and draw right next to the script, and then
Mm.
do thumbnails traditionally, and then do layouts traditionally, and then scan them back in for pencils. Well, now that I'm doing digital pencils, but yeah.
Right. Interesting. Interesting. I want to play this dang trailer, but I keep on wanting to ask you about our questions. Do you
Mhm.
are the digital pencils because that saves you time, or is there a reason? Any other reason?
It's a long story. Like I thought originally, I thought I was going to save time, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can use pelt made to like make flats easier. And then I was like, oh, this doesn't work, so I can't. There's no point to do that. But then by that point in time, I really liked the cleanliness of it. So in a roundabout way, all those reasons, like to be quicker, to kind of flat easier, and it's cleaner. But it wasn't all in one time where I was thinking that way. Eventually, it came out that way. But yeah, right now everybody thinks that I'd just say it's quicker. I'd say like the pencils look cleaner, and I like them for that reason. But it really didn't help out with the flatting. Here's the thing: I flat my own stuff. So even though I have a colorist, I
Mm.
flat because I find that sci-fi stuff, I have to correct all the flats. Like
Mhm.
nobody knows what the hell I'm drawing in these sci-fi images, so I flat anyway.
I can see that. Yeah. Do you ink physical? I'm assuming.
No inks. I'm a pencil guy, so I go straight pencil to color.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. Well, it's easier. That's easier to do with digital too.
Yes.
With
But
yeah.
that's how I did traditional to color, and it was, if you look at book one, it's a little bit more sketchy. You can see the imperfections, and I kind of like that. But you're right, yeah. With now that it's digital, it's just it's a little bit easier. I go for this kind of cell shaded. I got Marcos Martins doing colors now, and I've kind of forced him. I funneled him into my own technique of trying to cell shade more and appeal to that kind of anime type of look. And he goes for it, but he has this tendency to over render, and I always have to pull him back. But yeah, it's my process is digital for a few reasons that never really panned out.
I see. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a trade-off, right? Because Dago Solo mentioned originals. You can sell originals for money, which is
Yeah.
also why.
Speaking of, you can buy my chapter one originals on this campaign.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. So I was like, that would help. Yeah. Let's see if we could let's get this to 8,000 tonight. 9,000.
Hell yeah.
It's not that big, but that would be great. So back this book if you haven't. Do it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, if you haven't backed, there are really good ways. You could be the savior and get Rob Willis's cover. It's really expensive. However, Rob's work is incredible. So if you really like Rob's work, it's at the bottom. Also, my other chapter one pages are a good way to like help really fund. But otherwise, just get the book, man. It's an incredible, dude. I would say it's an incredible like selection of story that I'm putting in this 72 pages. Like I think what I've improved most on between 1 and 2 is just flat out pacing. I didn't realize how directly like the number of panels and just like text bubbles and speech bubbles, how that all directly relates to pacing. And I get that now. You'll have this much better pace in chapter 2. I have this nice build up to like this over the cliff moment, and then the stakes just drop, and then you're left with wonder and at the seat of your pants. That's the goal here. But I think I've done that way better in chapter 2.
Awesome. Shadowpunks' artwork is fantastic. Chris back the Willis cover edition. Yeah, that cover looked amazing. And I like these names too. The fully synced is really sci-fi tier names. We're gonna take a look through the tiers later as well. Cool. But I've got a few overdue member chats, so let me catch those real quick. King Leek of Rock Hard Comics, member for 13 months. Thank you so much. Ooh, 13 months, let's go. Thank you for being a member, King Leek. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the chat. And King Leek, again, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. I need to check my memberships to see if I finally have enough to actually do something about it. I've been trying to build up my membership count because I want to do more custom emojis, but it's actually like a huge jump. It's not like, ooh, every 2 members you get an extra emoji. It's like every 15 members or some shit. I don't know. It's been really frustrating because I've had all these like funny ass emojis I've been waiting forever to do. But there you go. If you would like to become a member, go nab those. And Ryan Blue Thunder gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. So everybody in chat, if you would like a membership, go check it out. I've been good. I've been uploading some videos of like Fiendish world building content. You guys haven't seen on my channel, I have the character profiles for Casimir and Yomi up, and I have like shorts versions of those as well, and I have my first proper world building video, which is a species video. I talk about the Ispoliad and the Dev, and that's up early for members only, so that's not going to be public until this weekend. So I've been working hard, like on just video stuff and extra content, because I realized, well, like I should make my channel about. Like, I can talk about my comic forever, so why am I not putting this on YouTube? Like, I'm stupid. I've been doing this for like 4 years. So,
dude, I really like your videos. They're great.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. Too bad that I can't say everything because it's spoilery, but I'm going to just elaborate the world building that I have revealed so far, and hopefully that gets people interested in the book. And it's fun to do. It's it just adds more to my stress because of my schedule, but it's fun. I like the results. So anyways, go become a member. You'll get access to those videos. It'll be a good time. And Snuggy Junior says Star Striker Earthbound crossover.
Dude, yeah, for sure. Dude, Narwhal's inspiring as hell. Yeah, just art wise too. I'm kind of, I don't know. I was like, every time I see his art, I'm like, you can do that. That's acceptable and still make it awesome. I don't know how, like, I don't know how he does it. It's mind blowing, kind of.
Yeah, he's got that raw talent, that raw it's not like destroyed by art school kind of talent. You can't get that kind of storytelling approach with you can't teach it. Also, he's so prolific. So many books. I'm a little jealous. I've got like,
I need to start writing and just I want to like write a couple that are not drawn by me just so I can have more books.
Yeah, I got that feeling too. I did that with 2.5 for Fiendish, and I was just like, oh, that was great. The art just happened. I just had to throw money at Michael. But
I know.
Who did a amazing job, by the way. And you guys should be getting your books soon. I know. I've been saying that for like 2 weeks. But we've had issues with like the trading cards coming in and stuff. But I do know for a fact the books are going out, so I can't wait.
What are you Can I ask you something? What are you most proud of with Fiendish 2? Because I really enjoyed it, but I'm just curious to like, what was your moment of pride in that book? Like, what do you feel good about?
What? It's not like a moment of pride. It's just how Yomi came to life on her own, and I wasn't expecting it. Now a lot of people say she's their favorite character. That wasn't the plan. That was just something that happened as I was writing too, and I realized she could really carry the story. And honestly, she carries the story for the next few books. And
that's cool.
So I I mentioned this before. Fiendish is it's like 9 or 10 books, right? So we're in this for the long run. But I have the character arc staggered. So Yomi kind of happens first, and then Cosmere, then Ragna. It's kind of the staggered progression, and with mini arcs all intercut between. It's very complicated. I made it. I don't know what it.
Seems like you're doing well.
I mean, I try, but honestly, it's yeah. I approach it from like a project manager standpoint, and I do all the plotting, but it helps to get feedback. I think that I want to keep improving, and the improvement comes from feedback and from having a team and having an editor. So I'm just grateful that that is also there to help me kind of refine things before I put the pages out and all that. But yeah, Yomi is a character that I have really turned out to be. I really am proud of, and she just kind of happened.
Yeah,
So
I'd agree too, for sure. I do. I really. I mean, there's like a natural. I guess like you feel for Kaz, and so that's kind of where I've been at. But yeah, you're right. Afterwards, in retrospect, you're right. I feel the exact same about Yomi now.
cool. Yeah, nobody cares about Cosmere anymore. It's fine. He's don't worry
Well,
about it.
you got to give him like some. I don't know. I'm not gonna say what you should give him. I just want to see it happen. I don't like influencing creators. Man. I don't like just do what it's
We're
gonna
like,
happen.
punch him in the face. You have to unlock custom emojis. Yes, you do. You have to unlock. You have to unlock it. Let me see. Let me catch up. Professional narrator. Irene voice isn't real. Yeah. So I do this like very sedated reading voice when apparently it scares people. It's
Mm,
because I'm trying to enunciate. Like maybe I
move my
realize
mouth.
how I sound when right. So I'm like in the world of fiendish, the Ispoliad. And like I can never speak like that on stream, but this is interactive. So when I'm recording, you guys have to understand. I write this stuff out. I've done like 2 or 3 takes, and I'm trying to speak clearly. So I sound like a robot, and it's scary. I'll try to
It
improve.
happens. It happens a lot, actually. It also happens because, like, by the time you get the right take, and sometimes you lose some of the naturalness, but it's better to have it clear.
Right.
And so I totally get that. You know, I'm working on a lot of YouTube videos right now too, and I'm doing it like I started leveling up in like professionalism with YouTube. I'm batching them out. I'm like working on like 6 at a time. So. Hopefully that'll pan out in the end.
I've noticed the same thing, just sort of doing a bunch in a batch and then just scheduling them.
Yeah.
I agree. That's what I've been trying to do. You guys just stay tuned. I've got some cool stuff coming in. A couple more super chats. Not one more, 2 more. Billy Paramax, member for 2 months. Thank you. Not only am I a fan, I'm also a member. Thank you for being a member. I very much appreciate it, Billy, and thank you for your support. And good to meet you. IRL. Is that weird? It's so strange to when you meet people that you've spoken to on the YouTubes or the Twitters. It's kind of strange. It feels like there isn't. It's not the first time you're meeting them, even though it is. Like I've got this weird sense where I'm just like I didn't meet Michael Rushbrook in person until last weekend, but I saw him. I just like, oh hi, not like
Yeah.
whoa. It's just like hi. It's like I've known you forever.
Totally.
Yeah,
I had a similar because I met a lot of people in Tampa that for Tampa Bay. I met you and I met like I think Narwhal for the first time, a few other people for the first time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it was like it doesn't. You don't realize it's the first time you're meeting in real life. It's just like oh, you're a different height than I expected or some shit. That's about it.
Yeah.
Everybody was taller than I expected.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
It was
damn it, why is everybody tall?
very tall group. Everyone was super tall, especially
Hmm.
Diaz's. They were just like towering over
Oh
goddamn
yeah,
giants, man.
I know. Yeah, Kelsey's just like a lumbering giant man.
He's tall too, yeah.
Yeah.
King League says, when am I coming to Texas? I would love to. So, apparently, whatever the fuck is the con in Dallas that happened last month or something. That's a good show, but I didn't plan for it. So if I'm gonna like fly to a different state for a con, I need to plan for it. But I love Texas. I lived in Austin for a while, so I love to go back. And there's some good shows there. So we'll see. No, won't be this year. Right, this year, I'm doing Heroes Con. Then I might be doing Dragon Con. I'm flying to Colombia for SOFA, the con in Bogota, and I don't know what
Oh, cool.
else. We'll see. I'm like putting some feelers out, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking around. I'll be at Heroes Con as well, and
Yeah, high five,
yeah, this is gonna be great. Yeah, cheers. It'll be my first Heroes Con, and I've heard good things, so I'm stoked to meet everybody else that's actually gonna make it out.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's gonna be great. We're gonna party so much. It's Heroes is interesting because everybody just gets together in the hotel lobby and drinks, and it's like all these artists are just
Yeah,
just
that's awesome.
nerding out about comic books and getting trashed, and then people are drawing in the corner. Oh, it's such a good it's such a good show.
I'm stoked. Yeah, Sherry and I will both be there, so that's gonna be fun.
Great. Rain Blue Thunder for 20. Tomorrow is my last class of a pretty intense 30-hour Cherokee language class/study I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I'm struggling. It's so over my head, tough but worthwhile. I remember you mentioning that, Ryan. That sounds really interesting. But that's because I'm into languages. But I imagine it would be hard, especially because I imagine Cherokee has absolutely nothing to do with English. So,
Do you have a
cool.
minor in like what do they call that? Like the study of languages. I forget what they call that.
No, I don't. No, I just pretend to.
Disappointed me. Should have lied.
Yeah, yeah. I should have lied. Be like, oh, I'm so like well studied. I should. No, I'm not. I just like languages. Yeah, languages are cool. I think if I don't know if like the world imploded or just art was off the table, I'd do languages
Hmm.
like
Yeah, just
translations, linguistics. It's fun.
yeah, you could totally just Tolkien out in a basement and just make as many
Yeah,
as you want.
yeah, that's my plan. Cool, Ryan. Congratulations. And congrats for finishing that course. That sounds hard but interesting. Philology, yes, philology. Tolkien was a real philologist. He was like a real mythologist or a real linguist. I just pretend. Yeah, that's like, what he did. Mm-hmm. All right, let's play this trailer, shall we? Let's play the trailer
Trailer
and then
time.
we'll go through the perks and revisit the campaign page for anybody that's just hopped in. Let's go.
Cool.
Welcome to Colony A.2.1. Here, a vast network connects the minds of each member of the populace, delivering endless entertainment. Augmentally custom made for each individual member free of charge. It's the cornerstone of modern life, a perfect system. That was until a street racer named Atlas Metric caused a glitch in this flawless system. It went undetected by the system admins, but now has the attention of a nefarious power who will do whatever it takes to retrieve the cause of the glitch. Atlas. Now relentless android assassins have been dispatched to capture him. In order to escape this threat, he will need to overcome the impossible, with the glitch in tow. But hey, impossible is just something losers say when they've given up, right?
That's a good trailer. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's let's see, who did your trailer?
That's Ted Zagaro. He's an old school CG guy back in the day, and he's done a few others. He's done Sovereign Wolf, and I always blank on the other one, so I'm just going to not try. But he did my first chapter as well.
Nice.
So
Yeah, the effects and everything and the editing was really good.
Yeah, we drilled that thing until it was pretty good. Like, because trying to get that's an AI voice too. Trying to get AI voice to actually work for you is
Oh,
tough.
was it? I was like, did you get a voice actor? But that didn't sound quite. It sounded a little. It's like that was very human, but a little off. That
Yeah,
explains.
yeah. I
Because
don't
I
think
was
I would
like
have gone with AI if it wasn't supposed to be a little bit AI sounding. I almost had
a
this
little
like vision
off.
of it's like a tour guide for the city that's like telling you this trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought it was a person trying to sound robotic and not excited. I
Pretty
was
much.
like,
Yeah. It sounded like
hmm,
she like would drift from like very static and very like I don't know, normal and just like
setting.
robotic.
Yeah, Alex said if
Yeah,
it's a setting correct, I remember. Sweet.
for sure. Yep.
Cybercycle racing.
Hell yeah, dude! If you're a fan of Akira and that sort of thing, and a ton of other influences, I was a big F Zero fan, and I feel like F Zero inspired this book almost subconsciously. I never owned the game as a kid, so I'm talking about the old school one, Super Nintendo, and so I would play it at my friend's house and then come home and not have the game, and I would just like make up stuff in my head, like how cool, and it was probably cooler than what was in the game. But yeah, it was a huge influence.
I see, I see. My narrative voice is AI. Yeah, that's actually what it was. I trained AI to talk like me. Shall we refresh and see if this is gonna? Shall we take the risk?
I
Chat,
know.
chat.
Do we
You're
do
not
the
gonna let me down.
narwhal?
Yeah. Do we say any angels or kitten die if we don't? I'm not gonna do that. I am kind. I am not narwhal. I will not put you through that strain. But I
Okay,
will just I will just put my trust in chat. Chat, you wouldn't let me down.
come on, chat.
This campaign will be at 8,000 when I refresh it. Is that right? Everybody who's watching has backed this campaign as we've been talking about it because it looks so very amazing, and you love cyber motorcycle racing, and you're going to make this book reach its goal, right? There's only 9 days left. There's only 9 days left. Come on, you know you want it. You know you want to get this now. Come on, don't let me down. Yeah,
Don't let her down, guys. It's not
I'll
good.
be so very sad. Okay, you need to trust us. I do. Don't break my trust. I'll refresh. Here we go.
Rainy.
No, my trust was
What?
broken.
Who? Oh my
Ah!
god. Well, I'm glad nobody
I'm
died
so
figuratively.
sad. At least we didn't kill an angel,
That's
but
true. That's
I
true.
am so very
Oh
sad.
man.
Aw. I know
I
it's just because everybody's having so much trouble making up their mind, though. It's
I
okay.
get it. Yeah, yeah. Well, look, you hit the if you're thinking of it, like
This room is playing.
just do it. Oh, sad face.
Oh, don't be sad.
Also, guys, ooh, comics mate Dean.
Hello. I didn't want to cut you off. Yeah, Dean.
It kind of coincides with this, kind of.
Okay, Star Circuit is one of the best comics I ever backed. That is high praise. Yeah,
Very high
everybody
praise.
in chat who's read Star Circuit 1 has said it's really good. So if you're new to this, then you have the recommendation
Hmm.
of the chat, of your fellow chat members who have
Yes.
read Star Circuit 1, and everybody has good things to say about it.
I've also it's weird. I don't think I'll ever put a large goal on a campaign again, even if it's. I think it works against you visually. I think it just as humans, you're like, man, the bar hasn't filled yet, even though it's like doing pretty well. But yeah, I think sometimes that works against you. What I was going to say is I stole from you and I put a preview on my website. So just below the blurb, I put a link to the free preview of chapter 1. So if you want to test out something for Star Circuit and you're on the fence, go click the link right below the plot blurb that I have on this campaign.
Okay. Simply Green says, on a scale of 0 to Ghost in the Shell, how philosophical does this get? That's a great way to put it.
Well, I feel like on my scale, I like try to balance. I really try to balance this sexy exterior and what's underneath. And so yeah, you'll find that like at times you're like, man, that was a little too close to the chest, and like whether it be emotionally or like dramatically or danger wise, and even philosophically, you'll get there more and more as the story goes on. But we're in chapter 2, so we're still building up the status quo of this world, and we're now moving into like the catalyst and the story taking place. Yeah.
All right. Shari's still crying. Don't cry. We'll cry together.
Dry your tears, child.
It's fine. Everyone's gonna back on the replay, right?
Yes, you better, guys. This has to get fun. Here's the thing: we will be pushing this really hard to get it funded, but it will be made regardless. So you will see it. However, yeah, definitely back this book. I don't know if I've put anything else with so much hard work. I've thrown my life into a skew for this book. So
yep,
yeah,
that's what all comics will do. But this looks like quality. The art looks amazing again, and with now that I can tell you've done a lot of thought. You put a lot of thought into the design as well. You said you did video game concepts, so that really shows, and it's something that you thought deeply about. It's not, well, racing story, but there's different levels to it. There's depth to it, and your characters sound like they're actually characters. So that, honestly, that level of effort put into a comic takes time, and it'll just suck up your life, because you know what takes time is not just coming up with stuff, because nobody comes up with, like, when you're building a world or coming up with a concept or writing a character, it doesn't come all at once. It's revisions. So that revision process takes so much time, and add that onto just drawing and producing a comic, it takes time. So
hell yeah,
I can see the effort that you put into this.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the praise, but yeah, it's just something I've been working at, trying to be a great comic book artist. I wanted my stuff to stand up on its own, like when you see my work, and I'm getting closer and closer to that. I think this is my best work for sure. The editors that have read, everyone that's read the script for chapter 2 is kind of blown away. Like, they're all like, you know, in some way they're like, man, if you draw it the way I'm reading it, it's going to be next level. So I'm hoping that people back. Oh, we do have a backer. Hell yeah.
Yep, I was saving the surprise that we do have one. Ryan Blue Thunder is backer 132. Thank you. Brian just saved the stream resurrected a guy in his room, because I guess a guy in his room is an angel. I don't know why you're just staying in your room. I feel like you would have important duties to perform, but I'm glad that you're back. You can come back to life, and you have Ryan to thank. So,
yeah.
Well, at least one more backer. Awesome,
dude. That's incredible. I mean, every backer counts, and I usually thank everybody that does back in the back of my book, because I do think it's important, especially for, you know, no angels. That's
we will save the angels.
Yes, save the angels.
Okay, next time I refresh and this doesn't go up, I will genuinely, we're gonna put some angels and kittens under threat this time. We'll follow the narwhal example. So apparently, apparently emotional appeal doesn't work with this chat. So I'm about to use anger.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cyberpunk crowd. They're half machine, so
they want emotions don't work on them. They need,
that's right. You got to promise more RAM.
Treatment. What? Try blackmail? No. I could never. I don't have the heart for that. I'm a kind person most of the time. A zombie in his room? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Is that for the resurrection?
Yeah. I know that writing my book was nearly 20 years, and this shit is hard. Yeah, writing takes time.
And drawing too. I feel like writing takes a long time to get it right, but drawing, regardless if you get it right or wrong, takes a lot of time. It's weird. It's like,
I think that Yeah, I think the issue, unless you're some absolute fucking prodigy like Stephen King, that can just slam out 2 books a year or some crazy shit.
Hmm.
Writing takes time. Again, it's because of revisions. It's been making all those links link up. Usually, that is what is so time consuming. And drawing obviously takes time, and that's more. Drawing still takes more time. Just that's just the nature of it, depending on
Hmm.
art style. But style factors into both of these crafts. But it's kind of a, I find it very silly when people say, oh, like writing is writing is not easy, first of all, and it is a time sink. And it's, I think, the problem though is it's easier to get away with bad writing, and
Hmm.
but good writing always takes revisions, and it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah,
He just uses his cocaine reserves. That's true. That's true.
I
I
was
get
gonna say
that.
Sanderson also is very prolific. I think
Yeah.
he like didn't he say he like wrote 400,000 words or something? Like published 400,000 words in a year? It was
God
something
damn it.
ridiculous.
God
Yeah,
damn it. Yeah, it's like one of those artists that are really detailed and really good, but also really fast. I'm just like, why?
yeah.
Why
Screw
must you
you,
make me
bro.
feel terrible? Also, teach me your ways. I'm like, are you? I was gonna make a My Hero Academia joke that nobody would have gotten. Like, give me a strand of your hair to give me your superpowers. Anyways,
Yeah,
like Stephen King doesn't get edited much, really.
I I usually I when I was younger I was like, man, I would do just about anything to take the powers of Jim Lee and just have that kind of like effortless type of flow. I mean, I know he worked really hard to get his where he's at, but oh, Simply Green wants me to sell you on on something. Oh no, yeah, sell me
Okay.
on because the limited funds
Oh, sell. I didn't see the. I didn't see the
somewhere.
pitch.
I'm losing it now.
Did he? It's fine. Um, sell Star Circuit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, just
go
sell them.
ahead.
Sell. I guess sell
Let's
them
do the pitch.
on the pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Come on,
All
what's the
right.
pitch? Star Circuit
All right.
Chapter
Star
2.
Circuit.
Crazy.
Star Circuit is probably the only book of its kind. It's a cyberpunk racing adventure that you're just not going to find anywhere else. It's a type of cyberpunk that leaves you with a sense of adventure rather than a sense of like I don't know demise or misery or a lot of cyberpunk is very gritty in that way. But my book is very uplifting in some ways. So it's some like cyberpunk light in with my book Star Circuit, you're going to come away with a really, especially just read the preview of chapter 1, you'll get the sense that this book has a real world, and you're going to experience what it really is like in this future where energy is cheap and androids are everywhere, and there's not a whole lot of purpose but for this one guy who's trying to race against androids and prove that humans are not obsolete. So I personally think it's one of the most accessible cyberpunk stories out there because a lot of cyberpunk gets deep quick, and that's kind of the flaw of cyberpunk is that like it gets real heady really quickly, and I think I try to make it approachable.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to put out front. Just like how a lot of fantasy will world build dump you right at the beginning when nobody really cares about that shit, or you have to make them care. The characters are
Mm.
what matters, and I think science fiction is similar, and you seem to be approaching it that way.
All right. Yeah. So I see Down Goes Solo says what motivates his racing. That's an interesting thing. And it actually spawns the entire story. The motivation for him racing in particular is this childlike wonder of the whole thing. He pretty much is the kind of prodigal son of the manufacturer, this family that manufactured all the androids. So he's like a rich kid. Um, uh, he's the son of the famous inventor and businessman that made all this shit happen. And so he's grown up around racing, knows all about it. Him and his brother are completely different, but they both kind of were raised in a similar way, which is respecting racing and really enjoyed it. And his his legendary idol when he was a kid is what motivates him to race to this day. His name's Ed Satsuki.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw him on the character profiles. We'll just scroll up to take a look at those in a minute. Yeah, this does have a cool look. I agree. King Leek has a great pitch. Speed Racer meets Cyberpunk meets F-Zero with a strange road rash, baby. There's your pitch. There's your elevator pitch right there. Perfect.
Yeah, I tried not to do the mashing pitch because if I did, it would be probably it's a little bit of it's a lot of bit of Akira, a little bit of Outlaw Star, and a little bit of Blade Runner.
Well, you can do that on this channel because everybody will get those references. Some other channels
sweet,
are
yeah.
the one. Yeah, I'm sure everybody who was watching knows anime because this is Weebland.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I'll weeb it up. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Weebery is definitely accepted here. Revoke Joe's Weeb credential with that name pronunciation. It's fine. It's fine. Well,
What did I say?
I've grown numb.
For Akira?
What is that? What did you? I mean, it was either Akira.
Yeah. Akira. Look.
It's fine.
I grew up.
Anybody who's not Japanese to pronounce it right, but Chris is.
What's the correct pronunciation for Akira?
Akira.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, my Weebery card is probably revoked. I'm gonna say.
It's fine. You're American. Oh, Ed's surname? Who? Ed who?
Ed's surname? It's Sanosuke.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody's supposed to expect. We're not Japanese. I mean, I'm not Japanese either.
Do you want me to really pronounce it?
Yeah, I guess Chris does want you to pronounce it correctly.
Oh, dude. Let me just take some classes first, bro.
It's a Mr. Kurosawa. No, it's... No! That's not who we're talking about! Oh my gosh! I'm used to it. Listen, I'm used to it. Yeah, anyways. Jesus Christ. This is completely...
We're spiraling.
Yeah, we're spiraling. I don't want to get started talking about languages and nerding out about Japanese because we're never going to stop. So let's, I've scrolled through this campaign a few times. These interiors look really, really good. Let's scroll down the side and take a look at the perks, shall we? Starting from the top, you've got a featured perk that is from the beginning.
Yeah, featured. Always got to go with the bundle. So from the beginning, put you at the beginning. You're getting a new cover of Chapter 1. It's a generic one because I plan to do a volume, like a collection of chapters 1, 2, and 3 down the road, and that'll be the classic. But with from the beginning, you get chapter 1 and 2 with my covers. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is the catch up perk.
Yeah. So you're getting $40. You're going to get over 100 pages on that. So you're going to get a good chunk of story. And to me, it's going to be. Because chapter 1 is left on a cliffhanger, but now that you've got chapter 2, you're going to be really set for a nice, satisfying chunk of story.
Mm-hmm. What's the over 100 pages total? Do you have a page count for each book?
Yeah, first one's 31, second one's 72, could be 73.
Ooh, that's quite the jump, sir.
Yeah. Well, I made chapter 1 to be a pitch. I was trying to pitch it to small press in the beginning, and I kept it kind of small for that reason. But yeah, once I finished, I was like, I might as well crowdfund it this way.
Right. That kind of, I came to the same conclusion. All right. Then chapter 1 and 2, digital.
Yeah, so digital, I got to give this. I mean, I try to anyway, because there is a preview, and besides the physical books, this is the only way to read it. So I'm giving you international people a digital option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen a few creators offering a PDF tier or a digital tier. I think that's a great idea. I don't know about offering a PDF on the campaign, but you guys know I'm doing the digital releases on Global Comics after the campaigns fulfill, which I'm very happy with.
Cool.
But I think having that option is great for specifically international backers. And also, crowdfunding is very much a like a collector's market, right? We're providing something. Most crowdfunding campaigns, there's something in the campaign and what's delivered to backers that is a collector's item. Whether it's the edition of the book is a collector's item, or you get tchotchkes, or even you get to read it early, or you should definitely get to read it early. That's the whole point of crowdfunding, or all of the above. But there's a wide audience out there that
Yeah.
is not a collector. And I mean, I'm not even talking about just regular people on the street, because in my wildest dreams, I want America to be like Asia, where just regular people on the street will pick up a comic. And can we go back to those days? I don't know how to make it happen. That's beyond my power, but that would be great.
It would be.
But just there are so many just comic reading audiences that aren't collectors or international customers that can't afford shipping because it's just crazy right now. So having something digital and branching out onto other platforms, I think is a great idea. So I think it's great that you're doing this.
Yeah, I do respect it. A lot of people are like, man, some people say to me, oh, I'm going to wait till let's go 8K. So yeah, a lot of people say that, man, I might wait for a trade back of like a big chunk of story. I'm like, cool. Well, if you want to support, because the book won't get like made technically if you don't get funded. So it's just another way for people that are waiting to give money and get something from it in the short term, and help the international people. So yeah, to me, that's awesome.
Awesome. Shardro is talking about Rook Exodus. I haven't read anything by Ghost Machine. Find it
Cool. Yeah, Rook X. That's P.O Box book. So that's cool. Or Fabic.
Okay.
I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Fabic.
I'm not good at pronouncing anything, bro.
Fabic. How dare you? No, I think it's Fabic. Was the radioactive guy was that a Ghost Machine book?
I think so.
Guy, the toxic guy. I can't remember the
Yeah, I can't remember that title now because Rook's the bird-looking faced masked dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Radioactive man. Yeah, I forget what that one's called, but yeah, that was.
You see, it's like a green guy.
Yeah.
Like, the cover. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, somebody in chat will remind me of what it actually is. All right, focus. Returning to the campaign. Next is chapter 2. Just chapter 2 alone for 28.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here you're going to have my cover, and then I got a separate per for the other cover. But yeah, get my cover, guys. It's not that any shade against Willis, but I think my cover really speaks more to like the generalness of the story. But I really wanted to maybe get both, because chapter 1 is really, I made 2 covers, like hero and villain, very polar opposite type of covers.
I like that thought process. So you're doing the same thing with the hero and villain. I like that sort of that dichotomy. So yeah, this is just a OCD personal thing, but I like series where it's in a serialized book. There's a structure to the variant covers. Like you have every time you have the same variants from the same artist, or every time it's like this, a hero versus villain cover. That's great. That's a great idea. Or it's like one wraparound versus one main character versus one something else, or one action. Like, it's nice. It's just nice. It's cohesive. But I think the hero and villain idea is such a good idea. Why don't more people do that? Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I like those. Because I think I saw some. I can't remember which book did it, but I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And I also have a secret thing coming down the road for people. But the hero villain thing, I think, is a good idea. I'll probably keep that going down the road. Maybe not with the same artist, because I do like Rob Willis, but the problem with that is the way I do variant covers is I write the cover for the artist. You know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't pick Rob to do any other thing besides this ninja shinobi thing, because I know he can do it really well. That's kind of how I work.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's a good process, and you did well. You chose well, and of course, Rob actually absolutely killed it on this. The colors are really good too. Who did the colors?
That's Alonso Espinoza. So he did.
Okay. Yeah, good.
I saw that combo with I think Amarok. He's actually my dude. Amarok, the artist and creator of Amarok, is Josh, who like was one of my first like chat kind of mates. Like I did a stream like 5, 6 years ago, and he was in my chat 6 years ago, and I pretty much got him into like drawing comics, and now he's got his own book, which is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's like the super young guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
amazing to see him. Like his stuff looks great. He's like he's so young too.
Yeah. Yeah, Era does really look good. Well, yeah, these colors are beautiful. I love the contrast and everything on here. And again, that background. I have a thing for really well done sci-fi backgrounds. Beautiful.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I think it's one of my favorite pieces from Rob, and one of the reasons why, regardless, I bought the piece to sell. But if it never does sell, I'll be like, man, I got this piece because that background's amazing. Um, I
Yeah.
think this and the Exiled cover he did are my favorites.
Nice. All right, and continuing chapter 2 with the said cover we've been talking about, the raw cover.
Yeah, Rob killed it.
And then synced is, I assume this is what is this? Everything on chapter 2? Is this with chapter 1?
Yeah, this is. I kept it real. I kept all the tchotchkes and all the extra stuff really low, really limited on this one. On the first campaign I went all out. This one kept it all based around the book because the book's big, one, and I wanted the quality on the book to be extra. I don't need to be spending time on making all this other stuff. I'd rather the book be excellent, and then I'll worry about the merch later. So I'm reusing some merch from last time, which is this kanji patch where you get Star Circuit and the kanji for Star Circuit. And then also a sticker, which is, it says glitch please. And then also a sketch card, which is original art.
All right.
Plus all 3 covers. But yeah.
Man, yeah, with original art, that's a really good deal for just over $100.
Yeah, I would. This is the best way to get original art by me. Definitely cheap, and yeah. Plus it's just like cool to get everything, because you know those campaigns where I don't know, like the everything cost you like 400. You know what I mean? There's like so much on the campaign that everything will cost you like an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think just because everything does cost so much to produce now, but paring the campaign down, and if you're willing to go lower with your original art, that helps the price point. So having just
Yeah.
a couple of things instead of a huge bundle, a ton of stuff, yeah, I think that's a smart choice.
Yeah, it really is just learning from my mistakes. Like, no, I wouldn't call them mistakes because I put so much. I had a 3D print. I had like maps and all this other I had a secondary supplementary like layout and design book that I think was the best thing I've ever made. Like aside from a comic book, because it's such a good. I put all my layouts, put all my design process in this side book. But that's extra stuff, and it all takes away from you moving on to the next chapter. Every time I'm making something aside from the book, that's another day I'm spending not making chapter 3. You know what I mean? So that's what I've learned, that like I probably should just be moving on with the story. Otherwise, I'll be 50 and still making this one story. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. No, that's very smart. I think that's an approach I'm considering. I love doing tchotchkes, but not too much. Like book focused campaigns are nice. I really like 2.5, where it's just a couple of other things. So yeah, I like that you're just making this a couple of extra items and with original art too. People love original art, so I'm glad you do have a tier where people can get a sketch card. That's really good.
Yeah, I love doing sketch cards because like they're good warm ups, and then it doesn't cost you anything really because I was going to do a warm up anyway.
Perfect. Chat, y'all driving me crazy. What is all this?
What is this?
What is happening? Why? What is this cursed? Why is this cursed? Oh my god! Whoa! I mean, you're promoting my book, so thank you, but dear God.
Dude, how do you even get that to work? That's incredible.
You just like Google, there's some type thing, like you can Google and copy and paste some like glitch text. I don't even know where this originated. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm kind of into it with my whole glitchiness of my story, but
yeah, promote Star Circuit with that font. It's way more appropriate.
That's right.
Moonspeak. Nani? That's true. It is. It looks like moon speak.
What's
It's not.
Moonspeak?
It's
Did I
just
miss something?
no. It's just that's just like it's like saying moon runes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. It's just the what is this text? Anyways, Zalgo
Yes.
text is that what it's called? I'm very confused. It's literally
Mm.
called her cursed text. I don't know what it's called. I just call it cursed, but that makes it okay. I was spot on. I have correctly named it because that shit is fucking horrifying. Continuing, chapter one original. Here's the original page. So the chapter one original page comes with a copy of chapter two.
That's
Is that
right. Yeah,
is right?
it's kind of cool because I thought that like if you're getting a chapter one original, it probably means that you already have chapter one. At least I'm assuming that. You can always add on. All the stuff is add-onable, so you can add on chapter one if you want it. But yeah, you got a nice. All the pages are actually listed on my website, which are there's a link to the campaign or to my website on the campaign, so you can peruse the pages for chapter one that are left, and then first come first serve when we get funded, I'll contact you and you get to pick your page. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, we have like about half of the pages left from chapter one, so there's a good amount.
awesome. Yeah, that'll be if someone can back this, that'll really bump the campaign up quite a bit. You want to what is funded? Funded is 9,000, is
Yeah,
it?
funded is nine
Okay.
thousand.
All
Let's
right,
do it,
yeah, let's
guys.
set this to 9,000. Let's back a few of these original pages. If you're watching now or if you're watching on a replay, this is the if you can afford it, of course,
I know it's possible.
any any
I
back
know.
is appreciated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Frickin' Malin pushed it on Kings, I think, a little bit ago, and it did some good numbers. So I feel like it's possible, guys.
You
Um,
can do it.
yes.
You can do it. I have faith in you. Yeah, it's a good looking book. I'm surprised it hasn't reached its goal yet, but you did set the goal. I mean, a
Really
lot. You set the goal kind of high, though, honestly. So
Yeah,
I'm wondering
honestly,
if it hasn't reached its goal.
I think I think it was a mistake because I think just optically people don't like seeing that, and I think when for any advice if you guys are gonna start a campaign, I would probably keep it really low, or keep it crazy high, like put 30,000 up there, and then have that be like this crazy mark to hit, and that might reverse it for you.
I don't know. I think so. Here's this psychological thing. Okay, so for anybody who's thinking of starting their own campaign, um, if you absolutely need a certain amount of money to recoup the costs, and this is a if you don't make this funding, then the comic doesn't happen type of situation, an all or nothing, then do the all or nothing. Like, because everybody's situation is different, first of all. But if you've already paid out of pocket, if you're not in the red for production costs or anything like that, and um and you're trying to recoup that money, or you're hoping to make money on the campaign, or you're like halfway done with it and paying for production costs and shipping for like the rest of the book, you know what I mean. If money isn't as tight, I would recommend going with an in between of you don't want to go like, oh, this actually came down to $10,000 to make this comic, so let me set it at 10,000, because if a campaign is funded, it's more likely to get more backers. It's a little counterintuitive, but if you think about it, it makes sense, because most crowdfunding backers, if they see a product that is not funded, that funding bar isn't there, then there's doubt as to whether or not this is going to happen. So some people won't back it. So even
Right.
if you do intend to finish a comic, because most people, like, we run a campaign for a comic, a lot of the work is already done. It's going to happen, but if there are new people to who don't back a lot of comic campaigns, I think especially, and for just a general crowdfunding audience, that does happen. A lot of people wait until a campaign is funded, and I totally understand that. But I think if you can afford it, that's why you should kind of strike an in between. You don't. I also don't think it's smart to set like your goal for 500 if that actually would put you in the red. If you're actually going to lose money just to look good, just to have that, ooh, if I do get to $5,000, I set it at 500, so I get to say I'm 100, I'm like 100% or 1,000% funded. Like, don't. That's not worth it. Just set a reasonable number in between. Like, whatever you can looks good. I wouldn't, you think you can reach it. You want to set it for a number that you think you can reach because you'll get more backers after you reach that. Let me just put it
It
that way.
totally. I think it. Yeah, like I said, I think it is. It was a mistake putting it so high. It's yeah. It's
I'm not. That was 100. Wait, no, 100 times. 100 times, not
no,
100%.
that's well.
Because my brain was like, it's times 100. And my
It's over
listen, there's a
9,000.
reason
Yeah.
I'm an artist. There's a reason I'm an artist. Anyways. Hmm.
Yeah, it deserves. It doesn't deserve such a high funding goal because it really does. Sometimes you're right. Like seeing something that's not funded yet, you question like, oh, there's a reason why it's not funded yet. When in reality, it's just like maybe the amount of eyes on it, but the goal is really high. I think that does. I think a nice 3 or 4,000 is a good nice middle ground for people.
I think so. Yeah, especially starting out.
Yeah.
And yes, 5,000 divided by 500 is 10. I do understand that. Just putting it out there. But no, I'm not good at math, so that fact remains. Fuse box for $5. Thank you. Back Star Circuit and back Outlaw Nights to accompany it. Now available on Indiegogo. Awesome.
Dude, Outlaw
That's
Nights is another
another
sci-fi. Yeah.
sci-fi. Yeah, it's another sci-fi comic. So it's I do have a love for sci-fi. And I think sci-fi is not really the hot thing right now, but I really appreciate creators that are going ahead with their sci-fi ideas nonetheless. I think that really takes some real guts. So kudos to both of you for doing that, and everybody check out Outlaw Nights.
Yeah, yeah, like it's weird because because again your story is like what you say eight chapters or something, or nine. I don't know what
Yeah,
you
it's probably
said.
gonna be like 9 or 10 now. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like in between 6 and 8 on how many it's going to be for me. So like I almost have no choice. If I want to finish the story, I got nowhere else to go. But I really want to see it done because it's I feel like it's something that I need to make. So it'll be there for you guys. And plus, I need to make it before like the world actually, maybe by the time I'm done, like androids will actually be a thing already,
Right.
and then then I just seem like some sort of some loser that just
No,
writing what's
it would
already
be
out.
like, oh, this is so prophetic, but I don't know. It's look at all these older media where they thought, oh, we'd have like fucking flying cars by the year 2000 and shit. Like, honestly, this shit. I mean, we probably do, but the government is holding it back. But let's not get into that discussion.
Hmm.
This kind of stuff, you never really know where progress will move towards, and it's almost like it starts with the small things, right? Progress is the small things, and we're almost innovating in like micro innovating. Everything is smaller and smaller, and it's about the internet. It's about information
Hmm.
instead of external stuff like hoverboards and flying cars. Like, who gives a shit about that? Having like brain chips and stuff isn't that big thing
Yeah,
apparently.
I feel like I think they've moved up the whole AI singularity. I think they've moved up to like 2030. Like all the thinkers on it are like saying like by 2030 there's no going
I'm not
back.
surprised. I'm not
So
surprised. Yeah, and yeah,
yeah,
and we just keep on like charging towards it. We're like, this might be questionable, and then we just keep on going because we're humans and this is what we do. Good
that's
job.
true. I'm just, at this point, you have to like, I'm just hoping like the good people, like the good folks out there are like also, joining in. The best thing I can say about AI is I'm glad it's like in the commercial sphere. Like there's companies making it rather than like governments, though I'm sure governments are as well. But at least the big jumps are being made by companies right now. So
Hmm.
competition kind of keeps it a little bit more transparent.
A little bit, not really.
Dude.
Uh,
If you ever talk to me, there's a reason why my book's pretty optimistic because I'm kind of like the optimist to a lot of this technology stuff, um, and for the future. So yeah, you won't see any doom and gloom from my end.
you do seem like such a optimistic person. I'm not optimistic. I'm just like I'm gonna laugh and draw comics no matter what. Whatever.
Yeah, I think
It's gonna happen.
I think we're gonna live through a good time because, like, before, if the world does explode from AI, we're gonna probably get some cool things first. Like before everyone stops having sex and and like
It's already
everything's just
happening,
digital.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, well,
We're already in rat utopia.
it's true, but eventually we're all just going to be uploaded to the frickin' mainframe, and then like now we don't have physical bodies, you know. So before that happens, we can have some fun.
I feel like we're gonna implode before even that happens. But this is
Mm.
this is an optimist and a pessimist talking, guys. This is like just like a textbook example of
Yeah, this is perfect.
of this dynamic. They're like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just upload it into the singularity, and we'll all be happy. And I'm like, we'll probably blow ourselves up before that. I mean, it will not be fine in any way, shape, or form at all.
Yeah, I think depending on what you think utopia is, I think it's possible with some of this, but you know,
Japan, yeah, Japan is. So this is interesting. I was delving a little bit into Japanese history, and Japan has obviously historically they've had periods of turmoil, but modern Japan is as peaceful as it is because it was a conscious decision culturally too. Like, we want peace after the wars, and I think Europe was the same way. And also it's kind of because America's there, so which is why I'm a supporter of Merca.
Yeah,
Even though no country is perfect, I'm like, there's a reason we have as much peace as we do. But yeah, Japan can innovate because of, and they can, their society is that peaceful, and they can innovate that much because we do have this sort of like environment for it. Though my point is, not every culture can really manage that. Culture ties into this kind of stuff a lot as well. But I have no idea. I don't know what the future will bring. The approaches to technology are so different between East and West too.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I think they're very isolated. They purposely isolated over there, and so I think that keeps, I don't know, their culture kind of in a nice vacuum, and it did that for a while. And I think that simplifies things.
I call it island brain because Taiwan has the same thing, and like every island has the same thing. It's like it's very it allows you to focus on in the right instance, in the right kind of environment, on just like focus internally without outside distractions, but also there's quite a bit of conformity and a sense of islands tend to be pretty safe in general, but there's also like that insularity and that safety can create a kind of mentality that's also not great, like very conformist as well. I've noticed.
So Taiwan's in the same way. Is that what you're saying?
Taiwan, is similar to Japan. Taiwan's like Japan, but a lot more Chinese. That doesn't make any sense. Just go to Taiwan, you'll see what I mean. It's like Hong Kong and Japan had a baby. But yeah, okay. I make fun of island brain all the time. I love it and hate it. But I think that definitely plays into it. Somebody said Japan always goes wild. Dangoso said Japan goes wild one direction or other. Yeah, Japan is very extreme. They're like all or nothing. It's a fascinating culture. I love it.
Yeah, I've never been, but I'm really looking forward to going. I've been doing martial arts for a long time, and I'll probably hit up Okinawa to start.
So, Japan is amazing. I have yet to meet somebody who doesn't love Japan, because you go to Paris or something and it's like, oh, Paris is going to be beautiful, it's a romantic place, and then you go there and it's like rats and everything. In Japan, you will not be let down. It is beautiful. It is efficient. It's amazing. You feel like you live in the future. It's so, especially Tokyo. So clean, so great.
You start watching YouTube videos and you just go in this rabbit hole of like people like traveling and going to different unique places, and often, what do they call it, the golden road or the golden path through Japan. Once you like get off that path a little bit, there's some other cool places too, but northern Japan, that sounds like a place where I'd like to go too, because you get a little more of the seasons and it's cold and I like the snow and shit. So
Oh yeah, I haven't traveled to. I'm mostly stuck around Kansai and Tokyo, but I'd love to do other parts of Japan too, leading the world never the birthdays. Well, listen, Japan has its problems too, right?
Yeah,
Every place has its, yeah. That's a worldwide thing.
yeah. The birth gap is a problem. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're up there though. I think, but Korea's worse. South Korea is worse. I think.
I have so many. I feel like the industrial revolution fucked things up majorly, and we haven't adapted to that. Basically,
Hmm.
we've evolved for millions of years to function one way and have one set of behaviors, but technology has completely uprooted us from that, and that we don't know how to behave, and because we're uprooted from our natural proclivities and instincts, and a lot of times our cultures, people, there's this innate drive that something is wrong, and that's why so many people have issues, and there's a lot of
Hmm.
depression and all that stuff, and there's an innate urge to, oh no, this is not, we can't reproduce, or it's not just like living costs. I know that's a factor, but I just think we kind of like fucked up our culture, and people aren't happy, and we're we have to figure out how to be human again, because
It's
technology has get in
true.
the way of that, for I don't, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah, my optimism fades away a little bit around this subject, and well, just in general about
No.
like how fast we can adapt to technology. And I don't think we're adapting. We haven't adapted to like industrial revolution or the internet or a lot of different things to fast enough. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that really is how fast can we adapt. You're correct. That's the
yeah, and if you want to like tie this to Star Circuit, it's like
yes. Let's go
the whole
start. Sorry.
no. Don't worry. I'd rather talk about this instead of Star Circuit. I'm just saying like the connection between man and machine, and like how if we ever are able to like really sync with machines, is that even
Mhm.
possible? I don't think necessarily it is. And there goes my optimism, because I think we're like our brains are not made to process a life without a body, like the consciousness and like the subjective point of view without a body. And so I think our brains would like just not compute. Like we'd probably have psychosis or something if we try to do it too quickly. But I'm sure maybe we'd work all that out. But
I don't. I think
if we
that's a
even get
valid
there, because the
point.
birth gap we might even never get past. So
I don't know. I find the a future like Dune very. It's not just because it's, oh, it's so cool. I find it very illogical, and I find it. I think if we do survive into the far future, it would be a future like Dune. It would be,
hmm,
we would have to overcome challenges like the Butlerian Jihad, probably more, probably
hmm,
many more of those, not just against artificial intelligence, but against all kinds of social upheavals and all kinds of other problems that arise from technology. And if we survive that, we will evolve into a society like Dune, because I don't think we'll ever completely divorce ourselves from how we've evolved. Like even though humans will slowly evolve over just millions of years, surely, if
hmm.
we're still around. But like right now, I think there's a tendency to think that, well, just because of technology, because of the comforts of modern life, we're not biological creatures, and we don't we don't have to. It's this whole like, oh, you don't need family, you just like be atomized individuals in giant cities, and people aren't happy that way. We're born to want your clan, want a family, and we're born to almost like, it just makes sense that a world that has far future technology like Dune, but has this very this kind of hierarchy that almost every culture in every at every point in time has fallen back on, because that's just human nature.
Hmm.
That makes sense. I think we'll come around, and we're going to recoagulate what the fuck ever
Hmm.
our societal structure around a blueprint like that.
That's definitely one look at it. I do think it's interesting that that could happen. I don't think it would, but I feel like the move away from technology, because they kind of still, like we with mentats, they kind of like use them as technology. Like they train them and used spice to like pretty much do the job. But so without that resource of spice, like I don't think we could. Like we'd have to discover another way. But
I think without that, sorry to interrupt.
Sure, no worries.
If instead of banning thinking machines, if we could tame it, and I think that's a more likely outcome. So not like exactly like Dune, but if I think if we could figure out a way to not let computerization and artificial intelligence go too far, if we really can find a way for it to help us, then that would be the future we're looking at.
Yeah, I feel like if, I mean, I don't know if we'll even get there because if AI is as bad as it could be, I think we're like, it'd be so easy for it to just like murder all life without us even knowing, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be, they're not going to launch the nukes. They're just going to like slowly release some, recognizable like sort of poison or something like, and just slowly seep it into the food supply or something, and just in 5 years we all just die off from natural causes, and that's how we go, and then they just rule over the world. But like if we get past that, you're right. I think like if we get past it's that, or if we smarten up, or if it actually turns out well, I think aligning with like AI and tech is a good way to go, because I don't think there's any way around it. We have to kind of.
I don't think it'll turn out. It's not.
We almost have to need AI to like move away from AI, kind of like we need the brilliance of AI to like eventually move away from it being totally consuming.
Start training mentats. I don't. I just don't think it'll turn out well. I'm like, is there a way to control it? But right now it seems so uncontrollable and volatile. I honestly find the prospect of where this can go terrifying, because we are so interconnected. This is not just a isolated. Ooh, this is a cool like thinking computer that it has the human logical skills. It's a something you're creating, whether you want to call it an entity, a program, what the fuck ever, that has the cognitive abilities of a human, or more cognitive abilities than a human, but doesn't actually have the experiences and grounding and life experiences that every human has. That's essentially a turbo psychopath, because what grounds us and what drives us to not fuck over every single person we see is human experiences, having grown up, having been a baby, having had a family, having people that you love, and being invested in your society. And you're creating something that doesn't have that worries me a lot.
That's totally true. The human experience is like, we are the kind of, all the poets say like we are the universe, and we like pretty much, because we think and we're self-conscious, like we're the only, in some form or fashion, we're like the universe that's able to recognize we're the universe. And tech is just some other version, some sort of like spawn that we made that may eventually like become greater and make us obsolete, back to Star Circuit. But the point is that if we have that situation where like we have a like this intelligence that's so far beyond us that all we can do is hope that our overlords like do us well. There's no way around it. It's either they help us or get rid of us. And I guess that's where the whole singularity in 2030 is kind of scary.
In the meantime, just try not to think about it. It'll be fine. Yeah, back Star Circuit, everybody. Read fun comics and enjoy life. Don't think about everything else. Don't think. Read comic. Read.
I know. Consume next sci-fi comic.
Yeah. Consume more comic. Don't think about doom and the end of the world. Do you, speaking of AI and androids, because you do have that in Star Circuit, are you planning on tackling that subject later in the series?
Well, it kind of is up front at you. Like the androids that race in the Star Circuit are all run by pretty powerful AI, but in this world we never solve for general intelligence. So everything is built kind of more like Mega Man, if you've ever played that, where like they make specific robots for specific tasks and they do it really well. But they can never like get past say for one, the Turing test, or get past the point of like it just being better at humans in all things. So they make androids to race, they make androids for police, they make androids for all these different things with good AI, but it never can be a general intelligence. So that's kind of the difference. But yeah, it's in the book from the start. We dive into it more, and we dive into how does biological creatures and tech merge? Are we compatible at all? Is there a way for like humans to surpass like AI and Android tech again, like become competitive again? But yeah, that's kind of where we go with it. But it is in the book from the start, because it's just the whole point of the Star Circuit is that entertainment, just like anything else. Like, we have MMA because we wanted to see what was the best martial art. And it's the same thing. It's like, if there's androids and AI, are we going to just not allow them to race, or are we going to let them race against the humans, and then eventually the humans just don't stack up? So, I'm sure yeah.
I guess what I was wondering is, are there any AI or androids that cause problems for humans? But I suppose as you described, that's not how this in Star Circuit, that's pretty under control. It's just the humans can kind of enjoy the luxuries. They don't have to work, but also at the same time, well, if you do have a passion for something, then there's no point in pursuing that either, because the machines can do it better. Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty much, everything's under the same network, this ARC network. So everything's monitored constantly by AI, and so AI is monitoring AI. So like the minute there's an issue, it solves it before it's a problem. Essentially, I don't ever really mention it, but this is the backstory. This is the underneath the hood type of thing. So because everything's so specific, you don't have like androids just walking the street being Blade Runner-esque. You know what I mean? There's no like more human than human here. It's pretty much like your android bartender is the best at making like your drink, but wouldn't be able to do anything else for you.
Honestly, that wouldn't be so bad if we just managed to keep it right there and never solve for general intelligence.
Yeah, I think to me that's pretty more interesting. Plus, I just liked it from the design aspect, because I get to design specific droids and androids for specific tasks.
Interesting. Dango Sola has an interesting question. Are you into bikes, influenced by any in particular?
Yeah, I never ride, or I've never ridden. I've technically rode in the back on a couple, but I've never learned. But it's in the works. I've stopped mostly that path because both my brother and my dad both have accidents, and they're pretty harsh, and it's kind of deterred me from jumping on one. But I do like MotoGP, which is pretty much the premier motorcycle racing. So I'm a big fan of the actual sport. But as far as like knowing certain bikes, I don't really have a need because I don't ride. But when I do start riding, I'll get back to you, and I'll have myself like my favorite. Though I have played some video games that I play Ride and a little bit MotoGP, so they help.
All right.
But no, I can't. To answer straightforward, I don't have a make and model for you.
She just said, "Yeah, I have a huge bike collection," and then people start grilling you on the details, and it'll be a giant.
I know, and then I sneak away into the shadows.
Yeah. Ooh, here are the add-ons. Right. You have them over here in the story. So you can get an extra copy of Chapter 2. You can get Chapter 1 as well. It's a holo sticker. Oh,
this holo sticker by Jeremy from Zade Studios. He does that book Beckoned.
Glitch, please.
Yeah, so it fits his personality pretty well, and we were like, man, this is perfect. Yeah.
Sounds annoying.
Yeah, yeah, he is kind of annoying.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, you did mention that, so well done. Hey, high five for annoying and unlikable main characters.
that's right. Cheers.
Yay. Cheers.
Yeah, he grows over time. He grows on you.
Point though, they gotta grow, otherwise what's the point? But
Yeah,
it's
I mean that's why he has to be such a loser in the beginning.
right. It's interesting though with unlikable main characters because I think in comics that's something that people are less averse to do, but I've noticed it especially in Hollywood. Oh no, there's no way. People don't take risk with and in TV shows and new characters. No one wants to take a risk on unlikable main character, but character growth is fascinating and
Hmm.
compelling is not the same as likable. Likability is not always equivalent to, well, is this character just interesting, do I want to read their story? So I like it when creators take a bit of a risk in that department.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where I think the Japanese and Asian side of like storytelling, they focus on characters, but in a different way, kind of more of like a global sense as people start, the character arcs and whatnot, and they're not afraid for characters to be like just the most despicable or just the most like flawed. Because the arc just is that much greater, and I think that's the coolest part is like of stories. This is the part we like most of all is just like seeing this change globally, and I just like in my heart of hearts, like the reason why I make Star Circuit is like I can feel how good of a like character Atlas is in book 6. You know what I mean? And I just feel how cool that is going to be.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That I have the same type of feeling. That scene that you just want to get to 5 books down the line,
Yeah,
and it's like all this work is to get to that scene. Someday I'll be
I know. No, it's
there.
great. It's great. Actually, the pages that's shown on this campaign page, all the racing stuff, those are like some of the original images that I was like in 2016 thinking of. I was like, man, it'd be really cool to do
Yeah.
this and that, and I finally got to do them this time, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to when you get to that point and you just step back because you're kind of in the grind, and then when you get to that point, you draw that scene you've been waiting a long time for. You step back, you're like, "Wow, that really happened. I
Yeah,
really
it's
made
cool.
it here." It's cool. It's like winning a
Yeah.
race, but it's like 5 years long or something.
It's cool because like the racing stuff. A lot of people say in comics like doing chase scenes and all this other stuff is really hard. Like to me, it just comes natural. I think I'm just not really good at a lot of other things, but I just I see different type of shots for racing and that sort of thing. A little bit more storyteller esque, but yeah, everybody has their strengths, and I think this is one of mine. Though it's developed over time. I don't think I could even draw a motorcycle when I first started. So,
Well, you draw them perfectly fine now.
yeah, they're getting better with every book. I saw somewhere. I think someone asked if chapter 3 is being worked on or something like that. But yeah, as far as writing goes, I've written the outline for the whole thing with ending and all. But yeah, I've written actual. So here's the story of chapter 2. I originally wrote it to be 140 pages. My editors forced me to cut them into 2. And so now chapter 2 is chapter 2 and 3. So chapter 3 is technically chapter 2. It is written and ready to go. And it actually really bookends great. Like, so that's why I'm going to bookend volume 1 Star Circuit between chapters 1, 2, and 3, because it's just going to be a nice bookended thing. And it'll be the first mini arc.
All right. So 1, 2, and 3 will be a mini arc.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 will be like what I would call like it's pretty much Act 1. It's pretty much Act 1 of the whole thing.
Okay. Makes sense. How long is the overall series?
I'm foreseeing it to be 300 plus pages. So yeah, that makes sense. If the first 150 is Act 1, yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be up there. But, I like to leave it open because sometimes I add on and whatever works for the story, that's what I'll do. I like to leave it open also in the way that Stephen King talks about, where I like the characters to kind of write. If if in chapter 5 I realize that the ending should be a little bit different, a little bit tweaked, I'm going to do it because the characters have grown in my mind over time and grown in the story, and I think I'll have a better sense to rewrite the draft to be a little bit more aligned if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost, I think, with writing and comics and storytelling in general, you need to know where you're going, but things are naturally going to change and evolve. The story comes into focus as you work. Do you get that sense as well?
Um, can you like rephrase that? I'm trying to like.
Oh, as
Uh,
in, so you want to have a plan for where your story is going, how it ends,
mhm.
right? But
Yes.
as you're working, plans change, and the story kind of comes into focus as it's being drawn, and
Yes.
then little things like change along the way, and maybe the ending will change, but that doesn't negate the fact that it's smart to start out knowing, at least intending to end in a certain way, even though you also have to be okay with things shifting, because that's just the natural way stories grow.
Right. Yeah, and I think it'd be kind of gross for me to like stick to my guns on like how it should end this one way, even though maybe the character kind of started skewing a different way. Maybe I saw him as being like more whatever, like a hopeless romantic or whatever, and then I have him get the girl, but that's not really where the theme should lead me to. I should probably go with whatever has been a part of the character arc, and instead of like forcing what I originally wrote. Um, totally true, I think. But yeah, I really like writing this way because it takes some of the pressure off. So you're able to do what you think is best, rewrite and rewrite and rewrite, but also know that potentially it'll be, you know, redrafted a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brian Blue Thunder puts it in a good way. Know your intended character arcs, but the story bits can change. That's right. Little
Hmm.
details
How do you
change.
write? Do you write all in one chunk, or do you write like scenes and then put them together, or how do you tend to write?
My process is called chaos.
Hmm.
It's called just pure, like just
Black
pure,
magic.
unadulterated chaos. No, it's so I have a prose script. Like, I don't write a script. I write a prose summary. It's also, on top of that, I have like 5 note files that are like between my phone and my computer, and like every few months I consolidate all the notes onto my actual script, and then I just like slowly figure out what works. I do this thing called combing the script, because everything is written out. I know how Phoenix is going to end, but every once in a while I'll just come up with a thread and
Hmm.
think that this thread is something that can be improved on, or I could add this to the story, or I realize this could be taken out, and then I comb through the script and find that thread and edit that thing. So I'll do that every few months. And honestly, that takes a lot of time, and I'm constantly doing that. And I'm 6 years into this shit, bro. But
Yeah.
but yeah, with every chapter, and then so that whole full story keeps on zooming in more and more and coming into focus. But with every chapter, I'll take that chunk of the prose script. It's more like just like a summary. It's not fancy prose or anything, because I can't write fancy prose. And then I thumbnail from that, and then the thumbnails take on a life of its own, and then it's revisions and revisions, and then maybe even adding whole scenes. Because I'll do like the chicken scratch version on my sketchbook, but then digitize it and start refining it, and then I get feedback and keep on complete, like it changes so completely, but somehow it always ends up being better and
Mm.
fitting into what comes next. And it's that's the best feeling. That's the best
Yeah.
feeling when things come into focus. That's the only way I can think of to put it. Just through, I don't know, it's just through revisions and through revisiting things and just banging your head against the wall until it works.
Yeah.
Basically.
One of my favorite feelings is the feeling that like a lot of young, maybe aspiring writers might hate this feeling when you have to, when you find you need to rewrite. Um, I love that feeling. I love it, like when you get to the end, you're like, oh man, I need to rewrite this whole thing because the endings reframed how I should get to the ending, if you know what I mean. It's like almost like time travel. You like got to the end and now you need to like time travel back and change how it began because it should fit the ending this way. That's essentially how writing works. But I love that feeling. It happens sometimes with scenes. I'll be like, oh, I think these characters are going to make up, but they didn't. It goes the opposite way. And then I'm like, oh, I need to now reframe how the scene started it to begin with. So I like those kind of happy. They're not happy accidents. It's just like happy drafts.
Yeah. Those kinds of things happen, and I like that. It feels like the story just speaks to you, and I don't know what that is. I don't know how that happens. I mean, I'm not one of those people that are like, "Woo!" It's like a muse is speaking to you, but it's just cool. It's cool when the story and the characters kind of tell you what needs to be done.
Do you speak to the muse at all back? Do you? Does it
No,
speak to you
I
and you
think
speak
that's
back?
dumb. I hate no. I don't. No. I mean, I thought those were just the voices I heard in my head, but maybe I'll just pretend that this is it's a muse, it's something magical and shit. No, I don't. I think that stuff is like fucking astrology.
Yeah, same. Though I'm doing an experiment right now. Like I'm very much kind of like very rationalist atheist person, but also I'm trying to like I'm just like I the war of art style. Just like I say a little statement to amuse and doing this experiment and just seeing how long it goes until I make a bad piece, even though I'm worshiping this muse in some weird way. Like just it's not even a worship. You're just like saying like, oh, hope this works out, muse. And I want to know if like it keeps going because all my work's pretty good so far since I've been doing this kind of experiment.
If it works for you, everyone's process is so different. Like
if you need a delusional muse to do your best work, go for it.
Yeah, no, everyone is different. Like Allie writes in her sleep. She'll see paragraphs of text in her sleep, like she's crazy. It's amazing.
Did I tell you?
Does that happen?
I was gonna say,
too?
Allie.
Crazy?
Oh well, I don't know if this is crazy, but Allie, I had a dream. Allie told me the backstory of Star Circuit in like in a hologram room. Literally, I hear. I think it's because I was watching a lot of trailers with her voice, and so I hear her voice, and she's like telling me how my colony city works and like what moon it's on and all this other shit. And then I woke up and wrote it down on a napkin, and I'm like, man, this is weird. This is weird shit.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fucking crazy.
I can't tell her because she'll think it's weird.
Yeah, but she might find out now that this is on the stream. Anyways, nobody tell Allie.
Let's keep it our little secret.
Quiet, nobody tell Allie. Oh, that's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
I interrupted you though. What were you saying about her? And I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that her process is so different. And I have friends that are like in particular, I have one friend that is the structure friend, where she has to study books on how to write and then follow that to the T and make sure that all the rules are followed. And I'm like, no, like that's not how I work. I'm not like no rules at all. Like my story still follows a rough 3 or 4 act structure, but I'm like real loose about it. I'm like, it gets to a point where I'm like, whatever feels right, it's just that's right. Like I don't need to explain it, and it drives her crazy. So everybody's process is completely different. Some people need to be organized, some people don't, and it's just you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. It's like drawing, where honestly, there is a standard way to teach someone to draw, but not everyone ends up drawing like that.
Yeah.
And some people are self-taught; they can do it just fucking fine.
That's true. Speaking of you, I've never read the manga. Now I got pronunciation in my brain. But I saw Blue Period's anime, and it spoke to me because it was like very much like talking about the theme of like natural talent versus hard work. I don't know. Have you seen it or heard of it or read it?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a normal everyday dude that's planning to go to college and just like take a business degree just decides at the last second to go to art school. And in this anime, he like pretty much is like he's the hard worker guy because he's not like a natural artistic talent, and he's going to art classes, and like there's like these like really good people, and so it's like this. He's like the underdog in the way that he's not a really natural artist person.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, I know I haven't heard of that, but interesting.
I suggest just go watch maybe a little bit, like a little trailer or something. It definitely, I watched it all because it spoke to me. It's like one of those things where like it's like you watching Bakuman or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that would probably be. I can see how that would be entertaining. Bakuman was very entertaining to read. I was laughing because Chris was. Eine pronunciation, yes, Staffel. That was the worst pronunciation ever. I don't care. I don't speak German.
Ich bin ein.
Yeah. Nicht korrekt. That was accurate. That was real German. Yeah. So, not to get too distracted, but yeah. This is a very, very good looking campaign here. Let me play the trailer again. For anyone who popped in late and missed
cool.
that.
Can I ask you something before you play it?
Yeah.
So, can you tell that the banners are animated? I've always, maybe that's not the way to phrase it, but they're animated a little bit. Are they?
I did not notice.
I probably should have made them more. I was worried about making them too animated to like distract, so I probably made them too subtle. But that's why I'm asking.
What you can't, yeah, I didn't notice till you told me, but that's cool. I had animated banners too, and I love them. You can add a light sweep, like a very light sweep, and then it would be subtle enough. Like you don't have to have the whole lava effect over the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that,
would do it. Yeah, because then people might like draw their eye there once they see the light sweep. They're like, oh, is there's other stuff moving?
Yeah, or like a glow, like a pulsating glow on that. Cyan bar, that teal bar, but yeah, light sweep would work too. That's cool. Yeah, and you made it a loop too. That shit's hard.
Yeah, it took way too long for people not to notice, and that's why I'm asking.
I didn't notice. Yeah, it's cool, but it's a little subtle.
Yep, live and learn.
All right, it still looks cool.
Yep.
All right, trailer time. Let's go.
Welcome to Colony A.2.1. Here, a vast network connects the minds of each member of the populace, delivering endless entertainment. Augmentally custom made for each individual member free of charge. It's the cornerstone of modern life, a perfect system. That was until a street racer named Atlas Metric caused a glitch in this flawless system. It went undetected by the system admins. But now has the attention of a nefarious power who will do whatever it takes to retrieve the cause of the glitch. Atlas. Now relentless android assassins have been dispatched to capture him. In order to escape this threat, he will need to overcome the impossible, with the glitch in tow. But hey, impossible is just something losers say when they've given up, right?
Yeah, dude. So good. Yep.
Sorry, Chris is yelling random German words in chat, so I'm entertained.
Yeah, Chris is a knowledgeable dude. I don't blame him. Yeah, the whole losers. Now I can't remember what I wrote for this thing. What did it say? Impossible is just what losers say when they've given up.
Good line.
Yeah, it's a good line, and it almost doesn't fit the AI, but I was like, man, it worked for what we threw in, and
yeah, the second time hearing it, I could hear, because the first time around, I was just like, this sounds like, it's like she's trying to be animated, but not like really stiff. What was her? And then you said it's AI, and now I'm like, oh, it totally makes sense. She's like, and then he must continue with the glitch. Impossible is just something losers say when they give up. And I'm like, that's just like such a perfect uncanny cadence.
Yeah,
But it's like really intense, but like soulless at the same time.
it's
Oh,
crazy. It's perfect.
it's perfect. Well done.
I
Terrifying.
know. Yeah, I was like, man, I'll never. He asked me. He told me he was going to do AI voices, and I was like, okay, if we're going to do that, I'm going to make it for an AI type of voice. Yeah, like definitely scripted that way.
Well scripted and well cut. Uh,
Yeah,
I feel
touche.
like
Yeah,
we have a refresh, long overdue. Ryan
yes.
Bluegunner is saying this bump is 6 months pregnant. Well, you better not let us down. Chat, you won't
Don't
let me down again, will you?
don't let us down.
To me, you won't do that to me. You would make me sad again. I know you won't. I trust you. But this time, if the number doesn't go up, an angel will die. All right, let's go. You ready? Let's go.
No angels.
Yeah!
Yay!
4 backers!
Hell yeah.
Yay! Thank you all so much. Not at 8,000 or 9,000 yet, but that's still very good. Thank you so much, everybody. You're much appreciated.
That's somewhat acceptable, guys. But yeah, let's hit 8. Let's hit 8. It's doable.
Yes, that's awesome. As long as we didn't have to
Yeah.
the angels or kittens, then that's okay. Nice bump, yes. Bump, fist bump. So
Yeah,
thanks
fist
to
bump.
you guys. Well, thanks to you. Yeah. It's the Rainy Rays. I guess that's the name now. I don't know what
Rainy
it's called.
Rays.
Just a little over 1,000 left. Yes, to get to 9,000. So let's be sure to get this funded. And 9,000, there's only 9 days. 9 days left to get to 9,000. Isn't that catchy? So let's be sure to get this book funded. Is this your first 30?
It is. It is. So here's my plans, guys, because I really like Fund My Comic, and I didn't. If I heard the whole Luke story before I kind of set up this campaign, I probably would have put it on Fund My Comic from the start. So if we do fund, I might stop and then put over on Fund My Comic, and we'll go again because we already funded the main goal, whatever, and we'll switch over. But yeah, I think really what Luke's doing over there, I want to support. I just didn't catch up in time. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Fund My Comic has. Yeah, I had a great experience on there too. The platform fees are low. Luke is great customer service. I mean, he must be handling so many problems every day all at once. And I mean, his story is inspiring too. So
yeah, after I think I heard the Pontificator's spiel, because he's given the spiel a few times, but he gave a really long one on Pontificators, and man, it sold me. I was like, dude, okay, like more than what I knew he was doing, because he just sounds like he's going for like the kind of like the principle of the thing. It's not like this is not a business. This is like, let's do this for everyone. He's like Superman over there, like holding up the world for everybody. And I really respect it. So I think he deserves all the projects going there. And Indiegogo is not helping me anyway. Like it's weird how little they help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate because a lot of us have put our comics on there and they're taking a percentage, but it is what it is, right? Fund My Comic is a good platform. I think if you're gonna go to another platform, definitely go to one that at least gives you good customer service and doesn't ignore you or shadow ban or what the fuck ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I think what really is cool about Fun of My Comic is that it's all comics. So like you have much more likely getting a double back, kind of like someone stops the back, whatever, Outlaw Nights, and then they see another sci-fi like mine and they back my book as well. That can only happen if you have that situation where, you're on a page that's all comics,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that as well.
Pretty cool.
Remember, also, yeah, the Indiegogo tip irritates me as well. So watch out for that.
So annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I do honestly, I really like Indiegogo's interface, but I don't know.
Too.
I really like the customer service of Fund My Comic. Oh, the Indiegogo interface is so good. It's so irritating. I want to take all the crowdfunding platforms, just mash them together. Like if I get Kickstarter's reach, Indiegogo's interface, Fund My Comics customer service, then like that would be perfect. And there's
Mhm.
no perfect platform for everything. But
Yeah.
my hope is Fund My Comic, because you guys know I'm all about supporting them. They will build up to something that can be all those things because they're new and the interface and all that stuff they're constantly improving and adding updates and making the back end more user friendly. And I know Luke and his team are improving month by month, year after year. Even just
Hmm.
between like when I launched Fiendish 2.5 till now, there's been so much new stuff. So maybe that'll be, who knows, maybe in 5 years that'll be like the big platform for comics. So
I can see it because it went from like not like it had a large jump. I forget which book it didn't, but I remember. I was like, man, and I didn't put two and two together between like this is Luke's website he was talking about, and this is the website. Making the connection. Fun Mike,
go
Fun
go,
Mike,
yeah.
go.
I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna
Do
copyright
it.
that. Fund my kid.
Is
Go
is
go.
Fiendish on Kickstarter? Have you tried Kickstarter with Fiendish or no?
No, but I might do like I don't have a new book coming out this year,
Mm-hmm.
but I might throw just the editions I already have on there. Like this is just stuff you can get on the store, but this it's a big audience. So, um I'll I might put something on there sometime this year or one of the multilingual editions because I'm working on Spanish, Japanese, and I don't think people in Japan use Kickstarter, but I think the Spanish speaking internet does use Kickstarter, so I might do that
Mm.
and that just to see how it turns out. And who knows?
Dude, I'd be interested in that. I want to know. I just want to know your data after that happens. Want to know how
Yeah,
that
yeah, I'm
goes.
interested too. Yeah, I think I've set up a Kickstarter. I never launched one. I set it up. I just hated the back end so much, but they do have such a wide audience, so why not give it a shot? You know, at this in
Yeah.
this landscape, like every creator needs every pair of eyes on their books, on their product, on everything. So, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'll fight
For
tooth
sure.
and nail for every pair of eyes.
I
For
think yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of Spanish speaking individuals that really are into like just bikes and moto and just like moto sports in general. So I think it might be a good one for the Spanish side of things
I
for
think,
me.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I think so. If doing that convention in Colombia for a couple, well, I've only actually tabled 1 year. I
Mhm.
think Star Circuit would do well there because in South America has like honestly pretty burgeoning indie comic scene, and
Mhm.
they're also it's like they're influenced by European comics and American comics, but they're also way more open to anime and manga than most American readers are. So I think Star Circuit would do well if you can get
I
it.
know. When is it? Because don't tease me. Because
Oh, the
like
con?
yeah, the con. Because I got
That's
might
October.
huh
October.
October. I don't know if that's doable. Well, the my fiance, freaking, her family's from Bogota, or not from, but like they
Really?
lived close by. Yeah. So
Oh
yeah.
shit! Yeah, yeah. Just
So
go.
I just do.
That'll be great. Just yeah, make
Yeah.
it happen. Do a Spanish edition. Print a few books. It'll be
I
great.
know.
See you
Do it
there.
like in 2 months.
Yeah. It's that stuff
uh,
does take time, but
yeah, it would
I don't
not
know,
happen.
time maybe for next year. Throw it on Kickstarter. I've been told that Kickstarter has a decent Spanish speaking audience too. So
Cool.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm translating Fiendish into Chinese too. I don't know why, because I don't think it's funny. It's so sad. Like people from my own home country don't seem to like my work. It is what it
hmm.
is. But I'm still gonna do a translation.
Why? What do you think that is? It's just not a lot of got to. You think they want more kind of influence from
Genres.
like their.
No, genre is different. The the preference for the type of story doesn't match up with what the most Taiwanese audience likes. So there's certainly, in every demographic, every culture, every language, you're going to be able to at least find a niche audience, but the type of the Taiwanese audience, I don't think gravitates to high fantasy or action very much.
Mm.
If you see the stuff from Japan, even the manga that gets popular in Taiwan, it's not stuff like Lotus War or Akira, from the West, it's not stuff like Lord of the Rings. Like, there are people that like that, sure, but it's much more lighter entertainment. They don't like depressing, long, heady things, and
Hmm.
and that's fine. That's fine. It's just that's why I'm in America.
Yeah.
I took
So
that
what do
back
they
to
what do
my
they
American life.
what do they like over there?
Cutesy fun stuff.
Just cutesy fun stuff.
Yeah, cutesy fun stuff. Hmm. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of East Asia is like that kind of. It's light entertainment, and it's so cute. I do love it, and very shonen shoujo, and I like it a lot. But that's just not what I create.
Yeah.
Or
You got to
slice of
go with
life.
what you're born
Taiwan
to
really
do.
likes slice of life stuff, cute stuff. Yeah. So maybe in
Okay.
the future I'll do that, but not right now.
Yeah, I wonder what I would do if I did a slice of life. It'd be funny, whatever it would be. It'd be comedy.
Is that possible, man? I don't think I can. I'll be so bored. Demon Slayer is too goofy, despite it being good. There's just shonen tends to be a little goofy, which is my least favorite part of shonen. I'm like,
It's
FMA is
true.
so brilliant and so deep. Why do you need to have those goofy humor moments that make it so obviously juvenile? I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like what's appealing about solo leveling is that there's not any of those goofy moments.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, go check it out because there's none. They go hard the other way. It's
Mhm.
like it's all serious all the time.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, a Yomi or Easkull. The only character Easkull would be the only slice of life character that would be fun. That would work. Yeah. Everybody else would just get in fights. Are you kidding me? What slice of life?
Yeah, there's no life part of it. Yeah.
No, it's just everybody else would just be fighting. It's just like, oh, here's a normal day. You're in a fist fight. Yeah. Anyways.
You should do a slice of like survivalist life in the woods.
Fun fact, that's what 2.5 is, so
Oh, nice.
check out shaman.com if you missed out on the campaign. Hey!
Back at people.
Yeah, or you
Or
can
get
buy
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just straight up order.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we covered this campaign pretty well, pretty thoroughly. Is there anything that I missed?
I think we addressed all of it. Talked about the preview. I feel like the best part about where I'm at with Star Circuit 2 is that I'm drawing the climax of the story right now. So it's like all those all the the things I'm waiting for you guys to see and like the most exciting parts I'm not showing here because obviously a lot of it's not even made, but this book ends or actually the climax is just something so the stakes are raised so high that you're wondering how it's going to end. Like there's sometimes when hell yeah, awesome. The cool part is when I read the script, I'm like, man, I don't even know how he's going to get through this because that's how like insane the situation is. So, which I absolutely love. So I can't wait for people to read chapter 1 and then like go down this crazy journey of chapter 2 and see where they end up. It's just fun. It's like if you want to see turbocharged bikes, cyber assassins that are just like unbelievable, and having some crazy adventure with a flawed but charming fellow street racer. This is the book for you. You'll really find that the human nature is there. It's not just this. A lot of cyberpunk can be very, I don't know, like a lot of machine rather than man, and there's a lot of human in my book.
I like that. I like that. The human and human nature. Good pitch.
Thanks.
I get these wonderful covers. You got this Rob Willis cover, and then this one that's by Good Joe.
That's right. Me and Marcos Martins, he killed it. We went. I was like, man, we kept upping the saturation. We're like, man, we need to make this thing pop. So it turned out pretty awesome.
Cool. All right, and thank you for the links, Alex, for both of our stuff, and thank you, Dago Solo. Also, Star Circuit is the star of tonight. No pun intended. So everyone back this, and if you're on the replay, be sure to give us a like anyways, and check out the campaign. There's 9 days left. Are you going in demand?
Well, like I said, depends on if I switch over to Fund My Comic. So if I do, I might stop it right there if we get funded soon. I'll switch over to Fund My Comic, and we'll see the campaign continue there.
Okay, awesome. Well, to find out if that happens, follow Joe. Where can people do that?
So, guys, you can follow me at Catapano Art. That is for Twitter and Instagram. I am Good Joe Art on YouTube, which it's growing pretty quick. I've got really cool kind of breakdown videos of comic art and stuff there. So that's also a place to check out. And then StarCircuitComic.com for all your Star Circuit needs.
All right. You heard it. You heard it. Go follow him there. Holy Hand Grenades wants a close-up of a Y. What are you going to do? A retina scan? Like, what is this witchcraft? What do you... I start streams doing like... So there you go. I'm wearing contacts, okay? You guys can tell. Yeah.
Do you wear glasses on stream? Is that something you do?
I don't. That's why I wear contacts. I'm nearsighted as fuck, so I wear contacts because glasses look dumb on screen. On stream.
Interesting.
I think I look dumb in glasses.
I'm sure you look. I mean, I feel like glasses on people just make you seem more like, I think, more of an author. Maybe you'd be like super
people like
authorly.
it. I don't. I think it makes me look frumpy. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, contacts. Look, they're colored too. Yeah. Well. Anyways, not important. Everybody, follow me, Irene Draws, and of course, you're watching this on my YouTube channel, so hit like and make sure you're subscribed. And check out my comic Fiendish. I have 3 books out. Book 1, 2, and 2.5. I've got a bunch of like world building stuff that is incoming for the channel about Fiendish. And if you want to find out more, go to fiendishcomic.com. You can order all 3 books on the website. If you order, all the books are printed, but it might take a few weeks for your books to ship if you order from the website because we're fulfilling 2.5 and RJ is doing all the fulfillment for both the store and for the campaign. But the books are printed. All 3 books are in existence. I can show you. Hold on. They exist.
Hell yeah, let me see these.
Yeah. This is reality. Hold on. I'm going to show them on screen before, but here. So, here's the new chapter 1 and 2. Let me turn my light up a little bit. So, here, if you don't mind, well, full screen. Well, place. Here's the new chapter 1 cover. It smells so nice. Do you love my new book smell? It's like, oh my god, my hair looks horrible. Please ignore it. But like new book smell is just addictive, and the printing is so nice. This is the soft touch lamination, like the really matte. It's like the ultra super turbo matte kind of lamination. It's super nice. So here's. People really like this cover too. This is like a nice.
Yeah, I dig that one, Rini. It's awesome.
Yay! I'm very proud of it. And here are the chapter. Here's the 2.5. This is the cover that you'll get if you order from the website. So, this is the permanent edition cover that was not on the campaign, but will be available permanently going forward everywhere. And it is a floppy. 2.5 is a floppy. It's 25 story pages with extra content in the back. Check this out too. Look at like how the spread looks. Isn't that cool?
Ooh.
The art on the back's by Michael Rushbrook. And with the every different variant cover, we changed the color for that art on the back. See?
Nice.
So, and here's the Springtide cover. This was part of the campaign. There you go. It looks weird with my lighting, but it
Yeah,
is.
they're all gloss, right? I guess because that.
They're satin. They're not gloss. They're
Oh,
satin.
really?
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I like, I don't know. I think floppies are kind of weird. If I like my perfect bound books to be matte. I love matte lamination, and I think matte lamination works better for fantasy. But with floppies, I almost feel like this is just better. I don't know why. I feel like it's kind of weird if it's a matte. Anyways,
Finish.
I thought I'd try
Hmm.
this out. Yeah, so with this print run, this is satin lamination, and here is the 24-hour dark cover, and the back is also like this. So
Cool.
they exist, everybody. Woohoo! Come check it out.
They look
Over
great.
on the website, and everybody who backed the campaign, your books are incoming. So
That's they look great. Are you planning ever to do like a more collected volume, or are you going to keep them in the same page count trade backs as they are now?
oh, oh, do I have plans? Oh, do I have plans? Do I have plans? I was thinking of compiling 1, 2, and 2.5 into a like a arc 1 book.
Hmm.
Though I don't, because I want to do expanded distribution, not just digitally, but like maybe, get through Amazon KDP or something like that. And if I do that, I want to just like smash all several chapters together. And the original plan, arc 1 of Fiendish, is chapter 1 through chapter 4. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm like, I can break it up that way, or I can break it up further where 1, 2, and 2.5 is it's not the first arc, but it serves as a first volume, like a first tankobon almost, or a first trade, right? And because that would be these are the introductory chapters. Like after 2.5, we're done introducing shit. We're getting into this like the actual meat of the story.
Right.
So I could also break it up in a different way. I'm still debating this, but I definitely have plans to do collected editions for a general audience. And of course, in my head, one day I'll have leather bound,
Mm.
super beautiful embossed leather. I just said leather twice, but anyways, like huge oversized editions of the book
We get
when
it. You
it's
like
done.
leather.
I do. It's pretty, and it's because okay. So Berserk has these deluxe editions.
Yes.
Do you know about those?
I have
I
one.
want
Yes.
Fiendish, but it looking like that. That's what I want. Yeah.
That
The
would be amazing.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
they're huge. I think Bancroft was asking if your books are going to be at HeroesCon. Are all those going to be sold at HeroesCon?
Me?
Yeah, he was asking you if all those books were going to be sold at HeroesCon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will be bringing all of these. Yeah, we'll be done with fulfillment then. So Heroes Con is in just about a month, and these 3 editions, these are all the permanent covers. These will be available at Heroes Con, and I'll also have my convention exclusive Hot Girl Demon Girl sketchbook. Hold on, will I get struck for this? Nothing is showing. YouTube,
Hmm.
this is fine. Nothing is showing. Anyways, this is my bedeviled sexy demon girl sketchbook that
Oh,
Disney
nice.
lost. Look how shiny this is. But yeah, and here's the back cover. This is a convention exclusive that I bring to shows. And the interiors are very not safe for work, but if you guys have seen my auction pieces for Red Valkyrie auctions and so on and so forth, all those like hot demon girls, then this is what
Hmm.
it is. So yeah, this will be at
That's
Heroes.
dude. Your art's so good, Rini, and it makes me foreshadow maybe asking you to do a cover in the future because I also have um, a femme fatale possibly that I could have you do. That'd be great.
Oh, well, I mean, if you don't mind, we can talk. It's okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. No, I mean, it just came to mind because dude, I think, did you put out, you had another art book that you put out before, right?
Oh yeah, Regrowth will also be there. I have a ton of copies of Regrowth left, so
Oh, sweet.
I'll be bringing those too. Yeah, Regrowth is this book. This is
Yeah, I remember
my
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's a art book I put together in 2019. So Yeah, I'll have a stat. I've got a lot of stuff, guys. So first of all, I've been just doing cons and comics for a long time, but my problem is I've retired a lot of old product because I want my convention spread to be fiendish, right? So I phased out my older comics. I've done a lot of like one-shot comics, my Marvel stuff. I'm like, sure, people will find me to sign that. That's fine, but my table is about fiendish, so I'll just have fiendish and then a couple of art books, and that's my table. And I've got this like
Nice.
awesome new banner with fiendish and everything. So it feels so good to have an actual catalog, like having 3 books. It feels it's kind of all of a sudden, because the turnaround for 2.5 was so quick, but yeah, it's such a good feeling. I'm so happy, and I'll have so much stuff for Heroes. Yes.
I know. I don't even have it yet, but like just thinking about having 2 books feels like I'm home or something. Like I'm in a cozy
Hmm.
fireplace hearth.
It's awesome. It feels, you feel accomplished and cozy. You're right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, people are mad at me for not putting this on the website.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll run a convention, like a short lightning campaign while I'm at the convention, where people can. How about that? How about that? I put all these books up on a short campaign while I'm at Heroes. So you can everything I just showed. You can not this. That's a campaign exclusive. Anyways, you know what I mean. All these books, and you can order all of these while I'm at the show, and that'll be it. It'll be like 1 week, and that's it. Because people have been really mad at me that I made this Bedeviled sketchbook not available on. Okay,
Well,
I apparently need to love money more.
yeah, I mean, you got to be more, stop being so socialist and be more capitalist, be more
I didn't
money
know that
grubbing.
was so. I didn't know that was socialism. I just
Yeah.
bad at business.
Silence is, I don't know where I'm going with that. I was going to say my variant cover of chapter 1, I'd have like a minuscule amount left that I'll be selling at Heroes. Because I think I pulled it down from my website because I didn't want any confusion. But anybody who is cool enough to come by the table and be into Star Circuit, it'll be available for you guys, which would be nice.
Cool, awesome. So you will be at Heroes with all that good stuff. And Michael Rushbrook will also be there. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Michael will be there. I know Billy Tucci, Andy Smith, Vaughn will also be there.
Yeah.
Jake will be there, bumming off my table.
Phil's
Great.
Phil's gonna be there, right?
Not that I know of.
Phil's not going. Oh, ew. I thought he was.
Yeah, I. A lot of people keep giving me conflicting information, so I'm only
Okay.
naming the people that
No
are.
worries.
Like, I keep telling people this is a really good show. Heroes is a really good show, but I understand money is tight now. But if you can make it, come say hi. It's gonna be awesome. Oh hey,
Oh
look who
yeah.
it is. Hello. Dango Solo will be there, and Maromi will be. Was that Travis? Were you gonna be there? I know Maromi. Frega was gonna be. Yeah, Frega will be there. Definitely. It's the Southern show. Everybody in the South goes there. So it's yeah. I know Steranko usually goes. I got to meet Steranko last time. I was there,
Ooh.
and hung out with him and everything. It was awesome. Michael said he would love to meet at a show again. Yeah. Too bad you're on the other side of the planet. But damn, I want to do more shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
you
know
should come,
Heroes,
dude.
It's too short notice, and it's a really good comic show. Okay, so Tampa was a good show because we had a group of people, and it was a decent convention. But I'm telling you, Heroes is nothing. The type of convention that Heroes is not like Tampa. Heroes is a comic artists convention. All the panels are about drawing comics, the craft of comics. There's an art auction, there's a quick draw in the center of the convention floor is an art stage, and there's events that it's run by a comic shop. The convention is put on by a comic shop. So it's a mid-sized con, but it's all about the craft. So I love it.
That's great. Yeah, it's
Right.
like how
Yeah.
comedians talk about like the comics comic. This is like the This is like
Yeah.
the comic book con for comic book people. Yeah, awesome.
Isn't it? Then it's not, the best shows for comic artists aren't the New York Comic Cons and San Diego's.
Yeah, sure. Or even like like MegaCon and shows like that. They're getting more and more just like just like straight up everything but comics.
Hollywood Con, yup.
Yeah.
That annoys the fuck out of me. But yeah, so next month, I hope to see some of you there. It'll be great. SDA. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I'm sorry. I have so many announcements. Red Valkyrie auction this Saturday. I'm going to be on the 4 p.m. time slot. So if you can make it, come see me. And if you want some art, then's the time to bid. So be there. 4 p.m. Red Valkyrie's channel. I might simulcast as well. So just follow me on Twitter. I'll let you guys know when that's happening. All right. Thanks again for joining us, and thank you everybody who backed Star Circuit.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yep, you guys are awesome. I'll see you tomorrow for Creative Block. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me, Drini.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.